Yo, hello, dreamers, and welcome. Oh, Casey's the DM tonight, unexpectedly. Hey, what do you know?
Hey, surprise,
Hey,
Casey.
Casey, I hope you
Oh,
prepped.
fuck.
Have you spent the last 2 hours preparing? Yay.
Hey.
Oh, wait, I know how I do it. Okay, so Tento suddenly falls into the river.
Hey, Tento can swim, unlike most people.
Maybe most people. I
Can
think
you?
Lonnie is the. Actually, yeah, you're right. No, Zion can't swim either.
But
Zion,
Zion can
walks.
swim.
Zion
Zion
doesn't
walks
swim. He
swimmer.
on
walks
the
in the
ocean
water.
floor.
He does not swim.
That's
There's
not
a difference.
swimming.
He can control the water around him perfectly to mobile himself.
Yeah,
Okay, like he's a perfect swimmer.
as long as I'm moving in the water, it's called swimming.
I don't think that's how that works.
I know that's not how that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's
Like
just,
Zion
I just want to
can
make sure.
survive in the water. I will not deny that. To call it swimming is a very generous use of the word swimming.
Yeah.
Casey, 120L is under the NPC's constructs folder. If you just type in 120L, it'll pop up for you. And-
That requires me to be on roll 20.
Yeah, well, a few
Second.
things
What are you talking about? You're
a
on roll
few
20,
things
right?
tonight are going to, so thankfully it's a bit of a overlap. And you will find NPC's Tordon has tell you hello everyone and welcome to High Road. Let me just ba-doop, ba-doop. And here I am. And
Rocking like a hurricane.
here I am. What do you know? All the cams are totally done. No, wait,
Oh,
hold
cool.
on.
Here's a sheet.
I gotta. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, I just see bio and info.
I forgot about the incredible graphical fidelity of this map we're on right now.
Oh yes, the apps. I mean, really, I'm glad I have a 1080 Ti. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to render it for this. Can't really get all the definition in there without it, you know. Yeah. So
There we go. Awesome.
we are on High Road, where last we left our heroes. They were in a bit of a pickle. Split
We're
between
fine.
running off to take out some scouts in the south and rushing north to catch someone they think might have more information. Sorry. Yeah, they think that a certain Anorak is holding out on them, and there's something important about figuring that out ahead of this attack. It is under the NPCs somewhere. Going for
I
a
see it. I'm
while.
good. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. That is more or less our setup for tonight's events. As one group runs to go catch up to someone who does not want to be caught, and the other runs down to find some people who are trying to catch you. That's what are you catching it?
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that? Indeed. So, in case you were wondering, there is two main ways to interact with the stream. One is you can click on the Scotty bit, and there is a channel point system. 2,000 channel points gives you the to go alone. You just need one character. I give them an item or insight of my choosing at the time to help move the story along and give them some advantage or insight. If you'd like to support the channel, the About Me section has a donate button, Money Honey. You click it, give the money, the PayPal goes through, it goes bloop, and the surge bar on the left-hand side of the map goes up. And when that reaches $50, we have a Wild Magic Surge that changes the course of play. Ooh. So, all that's said and done, sorry, I advertising posts. I think we rejoin the group here as our three shortest and stoutest party members make their way through the fields. So you are trying to chase the Anorak woman who Tenta you've met.
Yeah.
How are you trying to find her? Had you seen her, or were you just?
I thought we were using Lumi to track her.
Oh right. Well.
You also had a really high perception on
She
the
had
boat
she had
that was leaving.
Yeah, she had a nat 20. So at the 23. Lumi has recaught the scent on the far side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And leads you up towards this hill. You see several villagers milling about near the fields or up top, oblivious to the danger. The people begin to spread news about in town. And there is a shrine at the very top of the hill. Lumi guides you deeper. And as you come up, you go between village houses and ramshackle roofs, and people just sort of, working on stuff around their house who look at you askance.
You don't look strange. Just a gnome on a wolf and a halfling that might have several weapons on him.
What looks stranger? An anorak on the run, or
Oh.
two short people with weird markings and a wolf?
I think we look stranger, yes.
Yeah, so you guys arrive to the south of the hill. And the trail, Lumi says that her nose is feeling like a bit of a disturbance, but it's got to be somewhere up here. But as she gets higher, you feel a strange coldness, and there's a chime in the air, and it feels like this place, I don't know, it's more like mountain air, despite the fact that you're only on like a slightly taller hill. You
So
look
one
around,
time we
you
don't have a
see-
Roshi.
I know,
Look around, you
the one time you can be useful.
See
Jeez.
old gravestones, trees.
Yeah, only one time, guys.
Thick growths.
Look, we can finally get you to use your mountain, not hill, not plain knowledge, mountain knowledge to help us.
Well, technically speaking, this isn't a mountain. It just has air as if though mountain
Oh.
air. But to be fair, he's also really good with air, so it might
Oh.
be a...
Oh yeah, that's right. He's also good at that
Yeah,
thing.
it's
That's
mountain
right.
air. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Lonnie is just
Tento's gonna.
go check around here. I'll see if she
Did
is she right. Like,
did
yeah.
Lumi? Did Lumi lose the sedge? I mean, what? Why are we here? Is she here?
I think so. I'm gonna make sure she hasn't left. So just start looking around here. So yeah, Lonnie wants to do a perimeter to see if the trail picks up anywhere
Alright, so you're going to do...
on the edges while Tenta looks around.
Alright, so do you want to give me an investigate?
Can I guidance her for this?
Indeed.
Also,
Tento's
wait, is it
gonna
her
look around.
investigate or my investigate?
Whichever you prefer.
Okay, maybe definitely not the 6 intelligence wolf.
You Prime! 27 months and here's for 27 more. Thank you so much, Brian. Lumi sniffs about the bamboo, and Penta, you staying down there with them, or are you walking up?
Oh, I'm walking up. I'm walking around to see if I can see if I can find anything out.
Alright, well, the Shrine Keeper notices you. She doesn't, like, say anything, but, it's sort of like she catches your eye, and, like, she seems to be maybe sweeping. She's got a broom in hand. She goes behind some bamboo stalks. She don't have a great sight at her anymore. She's also on a level above you, though.
Why
It's
am
like,
I
oh,
imagining,
yeah,
like,
that's
a
right,
holy
she's,
symbol, almost like a police badge or something? Like, yo.
Open up. This is the religion.
Oh my god.
History totally has treated it like that, so I guess it's not the worst comparison.
Pretty bad. Tento's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember. She was she's that priestly that what's that priest told me about. Huh. Why does she end up here? I guess Tento's gonna go up and ask her if she's seen the Anorak lady.
Alright, so you just walk up, and you just the first thing you say, like, have you seen the Anorak lady?
No, I was like, greetings.
She's like, oh, hello. What brings you to our shrine? She
Open
kind of
up
like
if you
sets
were
down her. She sets down her broom, and she's like, hello, and welcome to the Twin River Shrine.
For shrine, okay.
Is this close enough that Lonnie can hear, or?
Yeah, you're hearing this like down like the little hill bit, but you're kind of like concealed from her. I mean, she might have seen you earlier, but she doesn't have line of sight right now.
Yes. Hello. I was wondering if you saw an Anorak woman around these parts.
And she kind of says, well, there was one here a while ago.
A while?
Yeah, she'd come by every few days, and we had a lot of chats about the history of this place. She was really interested in, well, stuff like the name. Nobody expects the Gnomish Inquisition, indeed.
Interesting. Well, my companion and I were just looking for her, and her wolf friend said her scent was a protractor to here.
And kind of balks and says, your wolf friend? And she looks around, and she's like,
Oh,
moment,
Yeah.
Lonnie and Lumi aren't up here, right?
No.
yeah, I'm checking the perimeter.
Alright.
Yeah, wolf friend.
And
Don't worry, she's
That's
a
yeah.
very good
So
girl.
with that investigation, Lonnie, I would say you circle around with Lumi, right? You definitively find like 8-legged spider tracks going up the sides of some places, and she's definitely somewhere on the top level of this hill, is what you determine. Based on what you can see, you end your investigation probably back down here again. And you're like the paw walking might be audible, but Bayama might not put two and two together until Tento's like wolf friend. And Bayama's like, oh, well, she's normally in the tavern if you're looking for her. Seems a bit confused. And she's like, but you think she's here?
I think she's in the area, yeah.
All
Is
right.
there any particular reason why she would be here?
Do you have a 19 perception? You have a 19 perception, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear something that sounds like a bottle uncorking. Go
From where?
somewhere like in the shrine, and then you hear glug glug glug. But not
Huh?
like the kind of glug 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 that's like, you know how Kabancho had those mandibles and they kind of complicated like consuming things
Yeah.
like that. Like it sounded when Kabancho drank potion.
So never.
I love how like Tento paid close enough attention to know that sound by heart.
Yeah. Does how you spell your name? Maima?
Yeah. Well, so she
Is she aware of that sound just like happened?
well you have incredibly fine hearing and you like barely hear it, so you suspect that unless she is incredibly perceptive, she probably didn't. But you could point it out to her.
Is someone else here?
She turns
Drinking?
around and she's like drinking, and she walks in the shrine. She looks around. She looks left. She looks right. And she like tries to see if she can see anything. But as it turns out, she can't.
Oh no,
Uh,
poor girl.
Turns around and she's like, I mean, the guardian spirit tablet is undisturbed. I'm the shrine's keeper. I feel like I would know if someone was here unexpected, but I mean, it's not like she's an uninvited guest, considering she's been by so often. Got trails off, and she's like, why do you think Shizuda is here?
I'm gonna see if is she lying to me?
Give me
Any
insight.
insight? Oh gosh.
Well, it does seem odd that she knows nothing more than what she's said, but it's not impossible that that's the case either. Yeah, so when Lumi tries to like pick up the scent around the tracks, she says that she smells the dead bones of the grave. And the air, like after she elevates, it's almost like walking up into a zone with like a different air pressure or heat or something. It throws her off. And if the scent is there, it's not perceptible between everything else. You suspect that is not. You suspect that it is a quality of this place, and if one were to study this place for long enough, they might realize that.
Lonnie is going to go up by Tento, like kind of give like a quick like courteous like.
And Bion was like, "Oh, hello."
Greeting to the Shrine Maiden and just ask Scout like did you know something like spell casting components on her or anything?
Any what? One more time? I couldn't hear you.
Any spell casting components like the pouches or
Do I remember seeing that kind of stuff on her?
She definitely had room for some gear, but you didn't see any of that in like plain view. No. So you guys are having this conversation, right? And Vyama's here looking at you. You guys are mostly talking between yourselves. And at around this time, okay, so like this isn't exactly depicted, but there are cloth flaps like into like the covered area of the shrine, right? On the Pento, out of the corner of your eyes, you see one of them like flap in a way unexplained by the wind, but only just.
Lonnie wants to cast Speak with Plants.
Tento's gonna start going over there then and says, "Excuse me."
Alright, Bayama's like, "Oh, sorry, but like if you want to visit the shrine, there's kind of a process. What are you trying to?" And she kind of holds up her hand a little, like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Process? What?
She's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, this is the Whenever Shrine. Well, I mean, technically speaking, it has a longer name, but I mean, you know, are you like, you know, sure you're like cleansed of Sunda and stuff? You know, like how recently?"
Pretty recently.
Okay. Look,
How
I'm
many
not.
days ago was the
Stank.
Springs?
Would you
That's a good question.
look? I'm not. I'm not here to visit the shrine or anything. I'm just here to find this lady.
I
and
think it was
she's-
within the last week.
Lonnie would let her know, so.
And Bayama's like, "Oh, well, I mean,
I think she's here.
okay, well, I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but that ain't exactly my business. I keep the shrine. Like, if there's someone here and she doesn't want to be seen by you, I'm not really trying to intervene in that. I ain't really trying to be a party in this either way. I just kind of, you know,
Are you
work
aware
here."
that she might be here?
And she kind of like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you cast Speak with Plants and like, there's like, ow, I'm stepped on, I've been stepped on, I've been stepped on." And that sound of grass comes from the east, like over here. And she's like,
Aw.
"Listen, I haven't seen Shizuda at all today. I doubt
Lonnie's
she's
just
here.
Gonna go over
But if
there.
she is," and then you just walk over there.
She's gonna dismount and like start trying to like reach around with Lumi, like kind of expecting to find an invisible wall.
Okay.
She'll like wave around with her stick to increase her range.
I'm just gonna look at Lonnie, like,
Mhm.
what are you okay?
And Beyond was like, "Hey, be careful. That fence is incredibly old."
Is
And she's kind of like, like, "Hey, don't wave your stick around my shrine." And and how high is Lumi's passive perception?
13.
All right. So just like show me like the path that you want to take at about this point, Lonnie. Like, where you and Lumi are feeling for.
Lonnie will try. I presume like with her stick, does she have like a 5-foot reach around her?
Yeah.
Sure. Like this. Actually, no. Like this, and she'll just go and like wave her stick around. Lumi's just gonna walk around here.
All right. So around this, as this is happening, Tento, what are you gonna do? Because Bayama's over here like, those are graves. Please do not wave your stick around the graves.
Lonnie is being careful, although she's also
She's
trying
just
to
gonna
lift like
take
a
step
stick
forward,
with her
like just
arms
kinda like
above graves.
why?
Which is probably pretty wobbly.
Yeah, she's loudly saying, "Please stop waving your stick around the graveyard." Loud enough that people downhill, possible they might hear that. Tento, where are you going? What are you doing as that
He's
happens?
just gonna step forward and just like
Also,
look
just
through the
aside-
curtain. So I guess like where he saw the flap go up, he's gonna like try to look.
It's the east side. It's the east side that you saw the flap was disturbed.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna fall behind her
All right.
quietly. Like anything around here?
Yeah. So as all this happens, and like you look towards where the plants are saying, "Ow, stepped on! Ow, stepped on!" Lumi bumps into an invisible wall, and a voice says, "That's close enough." And yeah, as that happens, we find ourselves in a deep wood, where there's about to be quite a bit of danger.
That'll be a tussle.
Yeah, so Orochi, Zion, 120L, and Tibir, you guys have sort of come in under the tree cover of this copse, whatever, of wood, and you are close in. So you're gonna be able to slide to some degree in under the canopy, but like they're probably gonna notice you after you got any closer, right?
Mhm.
Without serious stealth. So I would say that like this is your deployment zone. Feel free to start anywhere in the teal square.
I don't think I have vision on
I don't have any vision
210
either.
on 120L.
Oh, right. Tibir and 120L probably don't have vision. I'll fix that right quick. All right, yeah. So, how is it? Oh wait, hold on.
I still can't see.
Yeah, what the hell? I thought I turned on. They have token vision.
You could just put an eye out.
Is this? Yeah, but like.
I do have control over 120L's.
Dynamic lighting. Dynamic lighting isn't on. Oh, this page is legacy lighting on for some reason. Oh god, is all your vision legacy lighting? Well, then I probably need to turn on, advanced and legacy settings. No, keep dynamic lighting.
Hey, Jake? Jake!
On the bright side, we're not having
Jake!
technical issues about Zoom.
Oh, Sorry, I forgot to mute the wrong... I muted the wrong thing.
Good. Alright, Dreamers. Yeah, I'll throw an eye if this doesn't work, but what happens if I make this dynamic lighting on?
Oh,
I
That's
now
all
see
flickering.
my token, but everything else is black.
Same.
I've made the situation better. Yeah, so And now,
Oh, there we go. Now I see him.
Normal vision for me.
Hmm.
all right, position yourselves wherever you'd like to be for this fight to start. Or should you just make note of what elevation you're at. If you fly above the trees, like above.
I'm currently not using wind power because as soon as I do, I'm gonna start getting loud.
Mhm.
I mean, I can still technically stealth, but
Yeah.
not gonna be super stealthy
You-
with wind blowing.
And I was like, can you like power up quietly? Is that a thing?
No.
Okay. So I was like, can you be
No,
silent
have you
throughout
not seen
gathering
Dragon Ball
energy?
Z? He's got to go.
That's what I was imagining. I was like, you can't do that, right? He's got to do all
I
the
mean, there
yelling
is a
and
way
stuff.
to do that, but for me to do that, I would have to choose to not take any point of burn to begin with.
Oh.
But because I basically start the day with burn,
Mm-hmm.
because choices I've made.
Our two least
basically
stealthy
can't do that.
members are here.
What do you mean? Zion is master of stealth.
That's all I'll say. I
Zion
think
leaves no
Zion.
witnesses. Ask that alley child.
I think Zion
Stealth.
has been pretty good in stealth roles as everyone else.
I've been very good, so that when I fail hard.
That's what I say. He's like very good. I was like, you mean like that time at the library?
Yeah, but all the other times I make it pretty well.
Is that because you have an advantage with stealth?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. I am fine here. Yeah, I'm fine.
So 4 Bone Shock warriors are surveying the village in the canopy above.
So, just gonna hit them hard and fast and what's the plan?
Well, Orochi was holding his attack for when people are more in range to do shit. So Oroshi's waiting on everyone else.
In range to do shit.
Yep.
In
Very
doing-
technical term.
In doing shit range.
Does Zion produce waste? I'm curious now.
What?
Does Zion produce waste?
Zion like leaving like little Zion pellets? I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't. I that's not in any of my world building. Why is this come? Is this leave no trace? Is this like leave the campsite better than you found it? Question like how?
Jake.
something about something about doing shit. I was like, oh, does Zion produce waste? And I was just curious. I didn't think too much about it.
Amazing.
It's a perfectly fine question to ask, right?
Indeed. So
Sure. I guess as my action, I'll just damn it, rush forward.
Oh, okay. Well, if he's gonna
But-
do that, if he's gonna do that,
Not in range to do anything.
vicious. Why does it say the vicious longbow has 5 feet of range? It's not 5 feet, right?
Well, it's an executioner bow, don't you know?
Yeah.
no. So okay, it's got 150 stroke 600 feet range. Some of the SRD items don't have the ranges input, which is really fun when it's a ranged weapon, and that's part of what I want to know.
Yeah, I was just like,
Right, so-
that can't be
So
right.
Zion, basically, you just want to break range. You just want to walk out here.
Or I want
approaching
to,
them.
Yeah. Can I dash?
Like,
Jesus Christ.
you could. So like, they are on a branch that is 30 feet up.
Oh.
So you could dash. You can stand below them.
How big is that tree?
Big. It is 35 feet across.
Would it be like full speed into the tree? Would he shake it?
Oh my god.
I mean,
What is this, Zelda? Just roll
Yeah,
into a
just
tree.
ram yourself into it, man. It's
yeah, I
fine.
mean, maybe a Deku Spiral coming. I don't know. There's no rupees up there, man.
Just roll into it.
Yeah, you can climb the tree, or you can be up in that tree that you're on, up in the canopy of it. Yeah, I mean, so Zion, does that change what you would do when you see them up in the tree?
Yeah. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Nice. All right.
And I'm
20 foot.
guessing I can only get these.
Yeah, the 20-foot. Well, actually, oh, sorry, it's a 20-foot wide cube, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, actually, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, you can only get 2 of them. What color?
Let's say yellow. I'll get these back too.
All right.
You have fairy fire on this character too?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, listen, Kai never leaves home without fairy fire.
He breeds the sparklers.
Hey, can you like send that fairy fire over our way too? I think we need it too.
And the person who's invisible just talked. It's fine. We'll be fine.
So you light them up as if they've just thrown powdered lemonade on them. It sparkles around. They rustle. They're disadvantaged because they didn't see this coming because they didn't know you were there, and so they are both lit up by fairy fire. And yeah, they are now fully illumined in the sparkling yellow light. They are decidedly aware of the presence of an enemy force. And Orochi, you're up in a tree, right? As this happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna be more or less try to be on the similar level,
Mhm.
so that if one could say doing a line attack,
Yeah,
would
yeah.
hit 2 people.
Yeah, we'll consider
In a
this.
line.
We'll consider this. You're on the same Z level.
Do you want to do a line attack, Shin? Is that what you're trying to say?
And is that your opener?
One could say
I
One
would
can
my
like
say
to
that
stick
you're-
is doing
jump
things in lines.
in the way of that.
I'll actively.
You're gonna jump 30 feet in the air,
You're
like
gonna need, you're gonna need retro rockets to make that one. I mean, you got mad hops, but you can't make that dunk.
Can I shoot at them when he does that?
You- who?
Tibeer.
Yeah, but who do you want to shoot at?
Oh, this for the back one right here, the one that's lit
Here.
up.
Yeah, attack with advantage.
I'm assuming my held action goes off too.
Yep.
Wait, how do I hit with advantage on the sheet like this?
You all NPCs automatically roll.
Oh
with
yeah,
advantage.
okay. So multi attack. Boop, boop.
Yeah. So.
Damn, that's 2
for-
ones. Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, you're taking the left-hand side result always.
Yep. Thank
That's
God.
a hit and a miss. You click the word attack, and it'll roll the damage.
Even though you're not a halfling, it still feels like you're getting lucky.
Yeah, so you caused 3 damage
Wow,
to this
that was-
fellow right here. And is that where Tibeer would end his turn? Just like in the cover of that tree?
Yeah, in cover.
Alright, and Orochi, give me the line attack, and then we'll do 120L's turn, and...
Assuming that I'm allowed to use my movement, I'm going to use my movement to power up real quick to do a torrent of gust attack.
Yeah, wind and lightning, very, very frightening. Crackle around, the leaves are spread, the branches
This
crack.
one is only wind. I cannot
Wind
do the
cracks
combo.
the, wind
So
cracks the
DC
branches.
16 to do 16 damage, and they have a DC 16 strength save to be blown off the branch.
Oh my
Or into the
goodness.
Alright, ignore that strength roll. They have a different saving throw value.
Oh, one made it at least. Oh no, they didn't. Well,
Alright, so the guy in the back is absolutely getting clowned on today. Okay, so for the front guy, okay, they both fail a dex save. So the dex save is the damage, the strength save is getting knocked down, right?
Correct. Well, getting knocked back 15
Alright,
feet.
how much damage?
16 bludgeoning damage.
So they both took that damage?
Yes.
Okay, so you deliver 16 bludgeoning damage, and the guy in back gets knocked 15 feet into the tree, and he tries to make a dex save. He is up at 1 gaming at this time. He fails. He plummets to the ground. He is going to take, for a 30-foot fall, 3d6 damage. 19 is more than a 1. In fact, that's all of his remaining. He has a max 20 HP. He's got 1 HP. If he had just been healed by 19, he would have gone up. However, you know when he cracks to the ground, you think he should be down.
Oh, he's not dead?
He forces his way back up at 1 HP. As the blessing of the Orc Mother spurs him on. Those of you who have met or faced orcs before would be familiar with the blessing of the Orc Mother, which almost all orcs have. And means that what you think should be the last blow is normally the second to last blow. Or as some would say, measure twice, cut once.
Gonna lie, I think this is the first time I've seen this.
And yeah, so that's the trainer Akarat had it too. That is the Bone Shock Warrior getting fucked on. They haven't had their turn yet. So with that, everybody who isn't 120L has acted, I believe.
Mhm.
Alright, I'll move the deployment zone. And 120L, what do you want to do?
What?
She's a little busy at the moment.
Oh, okay.
What can it do?
Alright, she's busy. Oh, good. It has a lot of attacks. I am going to roll initiative, but like whenever Casey's good for it, we will have it take its turn. And I will figure out how that happens. Anyway, we should do that.
Initiative.
Click my character. I should be at a 10.
Just me or
Nice.
Kai's super quiet now.
I assumed he was just talking to himself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, dude.
Why can't you get that when, like, we're in trouble?
I mean, I'm here for Zion. I'm not here for you guys.
Oh. You right?
I mean, Tento was the nicest person to Orochi in the beginning. But Zion hasn't done anything bad to him.
I still like to think that he still is the nicest person to you.
Debatable. But we'll see.
You don't know what Lonnie and Zion says behind your back. Tento has ears everywhere. He knows.
Indeed. You can type what you'd like to do for your surprise round action if you'd like 120L, or you can pass that at your preference.
I don't know, just 120 y'all will look at Zion and say awaiting orders. So,
Master
not-
Zion?
Do anything unless, unless Zion says to do something.
If
So-
you have range attacks, then render them unconscious.
Something robots speak.
Then where's the speed? Oh, yeah. When it can, it will dash up underneath one of them because you said they were 30 feet up in the
Yep.
trees.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. It will just dash up to the closest one.
Alright, so you're dashed up under. So we'll just put you a little aside and know that you're below. Alright, and that begins the turn order with Orochi.
Alright. Hiroshi's going. Oops. He's gonna fly 35 feet this way. And is going to take a point of burn to do the exact same thing.
Mm.
This way.
All right. Let's see that wind blow. The bluster.
I'm
Dex,
gonna
Dex.
take my point to burn.
Stir.
Jesus.
120 out jump.
Can I jump that high?
Deploy
I'm
your
curious,
wings.
please.
If you want the text again.
Okay.
Wait, is this
So-
hitting 120L?
No.
this is- okay, so.
Also, just so I'm
Once again,
aware,
Yeah.
is it?
Both take damage. I'm assuming the back one is the second roll. The back one gets knocked off again.
Yeah. So yes, Casey.
Just does 120L? How easy is it to repair 120L?
Pretty repairable.
Okay.
Zion's got some spare parts for it.
Okay, cool.
All right, so
Don't
but
have to be too cautious with
the
it.
Bone Shock Warrior out front is the wind buffets him hard, like it's gonna put him down on its own. He feels like there's this well of energy from within as his eyes bulge. He screams, "Ah!" and his scream cuts the wind, and he keeps a firm footing. The guy behind him is like, "Oh shit!" and then like plummets to the ground, suffering 8 damage from the fall, leaving him miraculously up at 1 gaming.
They both take the 11 bludgeoning.
Yeah, because the guy in the back hadn't been hurt at all yet.
Okay, that's good.
So, did he trigger his thingy too? No, right?
11
Because he was
plus 8 is
just
equal to
at
19.
1.
He's just at 1. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting a little slash through to show that like you saw the Orc Mother's blessing go off on him.
Yeah. That's what I figured it was. I was just making sure.
So that's Oroshi's go. It's Tibir's turn. Tibir, you are well, you got your bow in your hand and people are flopping all over the place.
So, real quick, how does multi-attack work exactly? Do I have to hit the same target for multi-attack, or can I
No.
hit separate targets?
Nope.
Okay. Tibir's gonna move. Gets to the other tree right there. Wait, how much free move does he have? Does he have 30? Yeah, he does. Okay. So he is going to get away from Zion and move to this other tree. Boop. He's gonna shoot at. Wait, is he prone?
This guy here is prone. Yes, this guy here is stood up.
So it's a.
This
Do I
guy.
have disadvantage for shooting them at prone?
Yeah, so this
Yep.
this one dude is prone, these 3 people aren't. But, important note, Fairy Fire is on him.
Yep.
So you'd have
Okay.
advantage, which would even out to being a regular shot. This guy has Fairy Fire on him, and he's standing up, you'd have advantage.
But the blessing makes it so he doesn't die, right?
This guy's Blessing of the Orc Mother has been triggered. This guy's hasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure, like, I can't actually kill this guy if I were to shoot at him.
You can.
The one who's standing up right now, yeah, you see the little, like, circle with a slash through it?
Mm.
That indicates you've seen the Blessing of the Orc Mother go off on him.
And I cannot, like, down him at this moment.
You can.
No, they're not invulnerable.
This is
for-
resist all damage.
He's resistant.
Once
Resistant
you
means
go to
halved.
0, they come
Resistant-
back.
Resistance means halved, sorry.
Wow, my bad.
It means, yeah,
No,
no,
that's my
I mean,
fault.
it's in D&D, immune, can't take any damage from it. Resistant, takes half damage.
Gotcha, okay.
It's like he's Berserker Raging, but, you know.
Okay. Gotcha.
No.
Okay, so he is gonna. I guess.
Unless you
Up.
do 1 damage, then you do nothing.
These two. So, first one, the one that's closest to him.
Do more than 1 damage.
I did 4! Yeah!
All right. Yeah,
And
you
the second shot for the other guy.
take him in the breast. He's like, I've been shot in the lung. And he flops on the ground.
And, oh yeah. Then I shoot the other one that's in front, that's below, I guess. 12 OL.
You were the one
that one's
above 12.
Above, yeah, above, yeah.
All right. So your second shot hits and strikes him in the throat. And he's like, and he falls. He clatters to the ground next to 120L, quite dead. So wow, Tibir is now scoring 2 kills now that it is Darren rolling for him. So you moved, you shot. I believe that's your turn.
I'm gonna bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So Zones within 10 feet. It's not really hidden.
I'm remembering.
Sorry,
what bonus
Tulsa
actions-
self-alarming. Clockwork bear trap. Okay, never mind. What else can I actually don't know what I can do? Okay, no, I'm good. That is it for me.
All right. It's a Bone Shock Warrior's turn. He's fucking dead. Zion, it's your turn.
He's fucking dead. That's his turn.
Eat dirt.
I will cast magic missiles.
Pew.
One at this one, and the rest at this one.
All right, this
I
guy
get 3, right?
triggers Orphan's Blessing. And yeah, you trigger it. You throw the last 3 into the Bone Shock Warrior. So let's see the damage on the last 3.
No, I only get 3, so
Oh, sorry. That's the next 2.
uh, 1, 2.
Yeah, they slam into this guy. All right, so that's Zion's turn.
Mhm. Well, I'll get a little closer.
So man weapon. Yeah. So you fire the magic missiles. They swing around the corner and slam into him. And then you advance past the tree, up towards where the last of the Bone Shock Warriors reside. Yeah. All right. So that's your go.
Mhm.
This Bone Shock Warrior is very much alive, very much up top, and looking around. You know, things haven't gone well. Everybody who isn't him is down. He decides he's gonna full send this. He whips out his great axe and just attempts to like slam dunk it down onto Zion. He hops. He makes the hop. He swings his great axe. I do not believe an 18 breaks your AC. So the axe goes dink off of Zion. Wait, is your AC presently at 24?
Guy.
It should be 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
The axe goes blink, and the due to his graceful jump, he only takes a d6 of fall damage.
My ankles.
And he's he's down in the thick of it. Got this Bone Shock Warrior gets up, looks around, sees Tybir, seems to recognize him, and hate grows in his eyes as he runs north, sort of like into the brush, and he then activates aggressive move. The 30. He closes the gap with Tybir. He switches weapons. He swings a greatsword at Tybir.
Ah.
And a 19, I believe, will be hitting.
Yep. His AC is 13.
Wait, what?
Delivering 11 slashing.
Alright.
As the
To be
axe
fair,
digs
having,
in your
like,
flesh.
Having 20 is not normal, so we've been kind of spoiled with Zion.
And he shouts, "Weakling!" at Tybir in tongue of the orcs, which I suspect that only the orcs and Tybir here speak.
Isn't he like the one bleeding out at the moment?
I mean, this guy's real fucked up, but he's going whole hog.
He's going hard.
This guy, 120L. There are 2 standing foes, one to your north, one to your south.
Oh no. 210N is in trouble.
Beep boop.
I'm also curious, it mentions like electric coils and lightning coils. What are those? Is that something on Zion, or was that like when we adopted them? That was a trend thing then.
Adopted him.
Yeah, we just made friends.
So what's the question?
Some of the moves mentioned like electrical coils and lightning coils. Is that anything that would be remotely applicable here? Because like I have no idea what those are.
Yeah, so I think originally all of the 120Ls came with like a certain one, but I have long forgotten which weapon your 120L has, so just pick whichever one you feel like it. You know,
Okay.
his arm will just kind of like and extend
Yeah,
whatever
arm-
one he needs.
Okay, and
he's used arm blades before. Well, I don't
But
know if
they all had arm
that's like
blades.
universal. Oh, okay.
look, we totally adopted them. And recharges. Do you roll them at the beginning of the next turn or what?
Yeah. So you'll roll them at the beginning of your next turn to see if you get them back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go just use a normal arm blade. They all. Does this one have fairy fire or no?
No.
Okay, then I think here gets
Step there,
flanking.
yeah. Step there for the flanking. That's a hit. Give me the damage. Your blade sliver slashes through the falling leaves and sinks into his back as he cries out and twists in pain.
Non-lethal. Okay, it's not applicable.
Oh, wait. Sorry. You slap him in the back of the head. You bruise
Zion did say non-lethal.
the
Yeah.
skull.
He said subdue
And-
them.
Mhm.
The
Don't see anything that says that they get multi-attack, so I believe that's it then.
That's the
one
go.
120L doesn't have free will.
Alright, so it's Oroshi's turn, Oroshi. What are you gonna do, Oroshi?
She's gonna fly this way.
No one wants to help Tybir.
Hey, he's got it right.
Yeah. Just treat Tybir like we treat Zion in fights.
Have you technically has 50% of the kills this far? If we're going by finishing blow?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Ah, so he's a
Who did
kill
the most
stealer.
damage so
Got
far?
it.
Look,
Alright, fine.
guys, it doesn't.
I'm going to attack this bone chalk warrior to the north.
I love that you went further away to just attack them.
He's strafing out for the shot, you know?
18 to hit, 14 lightning damage.
You know we're just gonna give you shit for whichever when you decide to hit, right?
You guys aren't there.
Yeah, alright, so...
Oh no, we as players are just gonna make
so-
fun of you for whatever
So
choice you
this
make.
guy looks like he snarls. He's on Tybir. His blade is cut through. He's twisting back to give a grand thrust forward. He twists his face to shout something at Tybir. Tybir, there's some history here. He is about to shout something deeply related to your backstory as Above the Wind just absolutely slams into him and punts him through these like tree branches, breaking off all the low-lying ones with a crack of wood. Thud, 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 thud. He's unconscious in the dirt.
Great. Because of Hiroshi, we don't get to know Tybir's backstory.
So
You're
that's,
welcome.
Why can't you do anything? Gosh.
Shin's like, I've performed a
Hey.
service.
You guys wanted to keep going. I'm keeping it going.
Listen, when they don't call him Orochi exposition character killer for nothing.
We got enough
Oh,
exposition
is
when
that
it came to
exposition
my
happening?
backstory.
Who could
Now it's
I?
someone
Who can I
else's.
murder?
Yeah,
No
listen. You gotta have runtime to talk about the mountain. Alright, so is that your old turn, Orochi, or you just popping the shot, or?
Yeah. I'm just gonna be up in the air, 30
Tybir.
feet, just kind of waiting
Tybir,
around now.
The dude you were fighting has just been knocked unconscious and into the ground. Darren, for your reference, Tybir has no, compulsions against killing these people, but he does want to, interrogate one of them. So,
Oh, he does?
he would.
I thought he hated all of them.
He hates them.
He just hates one. Yeah.
He
Okay.
he hates. Oh
He
well,
wants the information.
he wants
Gotcha.
information. There's one in particular he hates and wants to kill. He doesn't actually care if the rest of them die. But
Okay.
no mercy in particular. So you're shooting though, right?
I am shooting. Pew pew.
You take the shot, fire into the melee. It slides right over Zion's shoulder past the coil.
Oh, 14
Um,
does not hit. Gotcha.
A
But
14
they're two
goes
sevens,
wide,
so
but the other one strikes true, and York Mother's blessing again goes off as he beats his chest and lets out a cry. His axe in hand, he's ready to go for another swing on Zion when he gets the chance. Type B, you're free to reposition or whatever you'd like, but it is now Zion's turn.
Zion would like to give a backhand.
Stop that yelling!
Yeah, settle down.
Why are you yelling?
I'm assuming 19 hits. Let's go for advantage to see. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, you absolutely like ring his bell and ding ding ding. You thud him into the dirt. Grass skidding, wet mud molding about him as he just crack plows up the dirt. And with that, the scouting party has been laying low. And we exit the initiative order.
Roshi's gonna immediately fly up towards, like, I guess the top of this giant tree,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of do like a visual perimeter sweep, see if like there's anything else that he can see.
Give me a perception.
You got this. I believe in you. God,
Darren,
why?
I hate you.
Why?
It's because of you. You keep saying shit like this.
It makes it fun.
You make me cry.
Yeah, see, fun. That was right.
So you go around, you see the tops of some trees, you see it's a largely clear area for like the horizon. This is one of the main major areas of cover, but you can see there is enough like rolling to the hills and plains and tall grass areas. They would have been able to, you know, make an approach that was unseen from the village. But they came here because it was good cover. If there's anybody else in this good cover, other than that scouting team of 4, you're not sure.
I could have sworn last session, Tiberius said there were 6.
Yeah, so Tibir does know that the scouting team should have 6 people in it.
Can he start looking for more of them?
Yeah, I would say this is survival to look for tracks, or perception to try and cast your gaze about.
Survival is 18.
All right. Yeah. So the beer finds some footprints. It looks like 2 people, semi recently, with like boots the same style as the Chalk Bone Pride, headed north. These guys, like 2 enemy warriors, headed north recently. That is also what Zion sees. They are probably within like a 10-minute run.
Now, would Tibir feel like it is worth running after them?
Tibir doesn't want anyone to make it back to their leader alive, because if nobody comes back, nobody gives a scout report. And if they don't have a scout report, they're less prepared to attack this village.
Okay,
And
so
right
yeah,
now, Tibir is on the side of this village winning the fight.
yeah. So would you say he would run after them?
Maybe not run, but at the very least, he'd be like, you know, pushing for the group to like follow them. You know?
Follow him. Follow him. He's gonna. I guess he tells the group to chase after the other 2. How many of these guys did we knock out, and how many did we kill?
I think
We
we only
knocked
knocked
out
out
2?
1 or 2.
I think so. There's 2 unconscious because I interpreted Hiroshi's wind blast into the branches as non-lethal. And 120 Zion and 120L were explicitly non-lethally taking down one of them. The other 2 that Tibir shot with his arrows got shot in the heart and throat respectively and are deceased.
Gotcha.
I don't know how strict we are about non-lethal damage. I think technically only melee can be non-lethal if we want to care about that.
Normally that is what I keep if we're talking about like arrows, fire, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I make an exception for, generally speaking, bludgeoning of any type. Like, I think
Okay.
you can non-lethally sling someone unconscious.
Cool. Good to know for the future.
Yeah, so like if you want to pop someone with a rock, I mean, in real life, you totally kill someone by crushing their temple with a
Yeah,
rock.
no,
at range.
that
Like, blunt force trauma to the skull is actually a great way to kill someone, even if it doesn't break the skin. But you know, in Fantasyland, we played fast and loose. But yeah, an arrow, you're always gonna fucking kill. So yeah, you guys are here, and Tibir has been like, yeah, we gotta go follow
what
him
if we
towards
just
the
shoot
river.
them in the knee?
What if we just pop him in the knee? Do you guys follow Tibir or? I'm assuming so.
Yep.
And 120L ties up the survivors after Zion says to.
How fast is
with what
Tiger?
rope?
I'll hand you some rope.
Okay.
Sure, I have some.
You just used their arms to tie them together, right?
The survivors. So if 120L starts to tie up Hiroshi.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. You know, Tiberi's not part of this.
Zion says
No.
nothing.
No, come back.
Zion says nothing.
You can reach me?
Oh, okay, you're right. You're
120L
right. I
has
guess
like
we'll go after
arms
Tibir
up,
then.
has Orochi that flies away
yeah.
like.
How fast is Tibir moving north?
I mean, up to Darren, but I would like a pace between like a decided like stalk through the woods and like a light run. I would say.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to spend my I guess like I'm gonna travel up north with him. I don't know if 120 Zion's following, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
continually give him celerity to haste him so that he can keep up with my speed.
Don't you have to be touching them to do that?
Yes.
So are you like floating behind him?
Yes.
Why do you have to be so weird?
I'm effectively pushing him from the air.
I feel
Like
this is
rushing him,
unhealthy.
Jesus.
I mean, I did this with Zion too. He didn't complain.
Sounds also a giant metal man. It is.
And this is a giant orc man.
Metal
half
being,
orc
sorry.
man.
He's wearing hide armor. But besides that, okay, yeah. So anyone else joining us? Zion or 120L behind us too?
120L is
tying
gonna
up.
be busy tying up stuff, so depending on how long that takes, then Zion will then,
Yeah.
unless given other orders, will follow behind Zion.
Mhm.
Yeah, so 120L is a little behind. We cut back up, snap back to reality. Yep, there's the Tordown Shrine.
There goes
Yep.
gravity.
Because after all, 120L still has to tie up the survivors,
In the middle of the
and some of them have just left.
Yeah. So you hear Shizuda's voice, and she says, "Listen here. I'm skipping town. I don't think I need to tell you that it would be a bad thing for me to be around when the wielder of the spider-cutting blade arrives. Whatever reason you tend to, for some reason, feel like that's about you. And this gnome and her pet wolf, Lumi growls at that, have to be
Yep.
pursuing me. Please leave me alone." And Bayama's like, "Shizuda, is that you? Oh my gosh, you invisible? Thought you said you couldn't do that." Shizuda just kind of sighs, and she's like, "Wonder of potions."
You know, I did pay for information as to if you knew what was going on.
I gave you all of the relevant information for your purposes.
Last
Yeah.
time I checked, you seem to be a factor of who he's attacking.
And she's like, "Who did you hear that from?"
What's her name?
Captain Zafia.
Yeah, the Captain Sophia.
that washed-up war veteran, and Bayama's like, hey, don't say mean things about her. I mean, she is always very cold, but I think that's just sort of her style. And Shizuda says nothing for a moment and says, listen, you can think what she wants. I left Wallbridge, and Wallbridge was attacked. That's all I know. I have a fear that any Anorak has, which is the wielder of the spider-cutting blade is going to come kill me. And knowing him, try to suck out my venom before he does. So,
Lonnie
I'm...
wants- Oh, sorry. Lonnie wants to just like keep an ear out to see if her voice is like getting further away at all,
No, I mean, so, like,
just throughout this conversation.
you get the sense she is directly north of Lumi because Lumi bumped into her, and that's when she started talking.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the voice is not going further away any point of the conversation, and if it
Yeah.
is, Lonnie
you
wants
ask
Lumi to be
the
ready to
plants?
grapple in front of her.
Yeah, so...
Assess the plants, man. You got this.
So Shizuda is, Shizuda basically says, listen, I left Wallbridge, Wallbridge was attacked, I'm leaving here, this place will be attacked. Maybe it's just because I'm in Western Cathadak in vulnerable villages. And Byama's like, this place is going to be attacked.
Oh yeah, I need to talk to you later about that.
Later, Shizuda, we talk now, and Shizuda's like, it's all in the letter I left you, and she's like, what letter I left you? And she's like, check your pocket. What? And then she checks her pocket, and she sees there's a sealed envelope there.
You're just gonna... Wow, those just seem awfully attached. Usually... Didn't you just say you usually just fuck off?
And Shizuda says, I always keep my end of bargains. And Bayama blushes a little, and she's like, I did no bargains here. Listen,
I'm
I
not
just,
here to judge.
why are we under... someone tell me what is going on. Or get out of this graveyard. I am the keeper of this shrine. To be quite frank, this is all kind of harshing the vibe. Okay?
What kind of vibe did you expect in a graveyard?
A peaceful
Actually-
one.
Scout, why are we going after her exactly?
Because
You
I'm
just kind of really
wondering-
seem to want to find her.
Because she is holding out information on me, and I paid for that information.
Shizuda hisses and says, fine.
That's it?
Fine.
Yeah!
And then Shizuda's waiting when she's like, yeah, your friend here has been bringing up some great points. Maybe I should just, and then she does try and, scuttle a little 5 feet to the north.
Oh, yeah, let me go grapple her.
Amazing.
Try to be gentle with your bite. Is it just a melee attack?
Yeah, it'll be a disadvantage because she's invisible.
Okay.
But Lumi may attempt because she knows the square that she inhabits. Yeah, Shizuda's like,
Does she get
that
back
is totally not
tactics?
120L. 120L, go bite. But with the non-existent teeth.
tries to
120L
bite
gets on
the-
all fours, like, oh. Alright.
Zion's like, huh. Interesting.
Transformers, robots in disguise.
Yeah, so Shizuda's like, take your dog on me again, and we will have unfortunate exchange. Now listen.
Did it sound like is Lumi holding on to anything or?
No, it did sound like she snapped at air, but it
Okay.
sounds but the complaints of the grass have stopped. It sounds like no new grass blades are being like, ow, ow, ow.
no screams of pain.
And yeah. Bento, so okay. Basically, Shizuda says, alright, let's say I do have a theory that could explain why a particular individual would lead his group to try and find me. But it's just a theory, and it's relying a lot of supposition and circumstantial evidence. I can't guarantee it's true, unlike the rest of the information I gave you.
I mean, that's still information I paid for.
You paid for true, verifiable information, which is what I gave you.
I
This-
did not say
My professional courtesy would not allow me to tell you mere rumors and happenstance, but fine, if you insist. As you are aware, because I told you, he is addicted to a certain concoction that can be made from Anorak venom.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that his... if you pay for speculative information, do you pay in speculative coin? I don't know. If you write a speculative story, is it speculative fiction?
You know her address?
And Shizuda basically says, so, he treads dreams that he should not.
I look at Lonnie.
I tread dreams where I am more accustomed than he. My methods are as the spider's gentle step on a silk web. His brutal thrashings. But in such an environment, just as a boar may happen upon a hare in a wood, it could be the case that we intersected at some point. Due to reasons I cannot properly explain to someone not trained, it is possible he found some after impressum. He saw something I saw, and in seeing it, saw some reflection of my sight of it. It's a lot to explain, and it is a hard theory, but it's possible he knows of me. Because I know of him. And it's also possible that he's chasing me. Why, I have no idea. I've never personally met the man. Based on what I know, I suspect that he's megalomaniacal, convinced of his own divinity, and probably thinks he's going to extract some great revelation from me. The hard way. That, or he considers me some foe, or individual with particularly potent venom, for whatever reason.
Is that a fucking... Was someone playing X's and O's on this gravesite? Sorry. I got distracted for a second. This one right here, it looks like tic-tac-toe. Looks like tic-tac-toe right here. Okay, sorry.
It's actually the same one that's right to the north of Lonnie. It's just... Anyway. Okay, you guys are here. So, Shizuda has told you that, and she's like, does that satisfy your curiosity? All I have to go on is that we were both in the region, and he probably saw something that I saw.
What?
While he was taking the moon venom.
What did you see? What did both of you see? He seems pretty hell-bent.
She sighs and says, I don't know how he saw it. Because again, he isn't doing what you should do. And he's influenced by things I do not know. But what I witnessed...
Mm-hmm.
He looks over... She kind of like picks up like a piece of grass and then like lets go of it with a flick that causes it to like flit towards the shrine. Is that two spirits alike in life can be brought back together if they're in the Soronetto. But that is not always the function that the river of the shrine of the twin rivers of spirit and soul has had. I saw a ritual performed here in an ancient time, before the landings. And what occurred here split this place, and also reunited it. And she sort of trails off before saying, all this to say, there is a reason he might be coming here, and you have a number. He is an individual with a connection to the Logos. One might call him a paladin, if you had a warped idea of such a thing. It's possible that he believes that he's forwarding his power by using the venom. If he's trying to come here, he could be trying to do something involving spirits and souls to forward that cause. That being said, the fact this shrine is here is common knowledge for anybody who looks it up. So he was either looking for something in Wallbridge he found, or he thinks he needs to bring me here. Or he thinks he needs to bring someone else here. I mean, there's lots of possible interpretations. I don't have enough information to tell you anything definitively, and half of this is speculation. All I know is that I watched this place get made. And from my perspective, it offered certain insights, but I know he didn't have my perspective. Maybe he knows something about this place I don't.
I look at the Shrine Maiden lady's like, do you have any idea of what he could be looking for?
And she's like, alright, stranger. I'm gonna need you to
Tento.
Okay, Tento, nice to meet you. I'm Bayama. Hello. I keep the shrine. Yes, the Twin Rivers of the Spirit and Soul Shrine. Hello. Normally, when people visit the shrine, you know, they take the shoes off, they sign a nice little book I have, we make sure they're cleansed of Sunda. They normally don't have big arguments about an attack I still know nothing about! Shizuda, what are you talking about? And Shizuda's like, that letter's going to explain why you need to leave town. Leave town? My whole life I have trained to keep this shrine. Now I'm finally the shrine keeper in my own right, and you're expecting me to leave it? And
Also, weren't you the one who told me to ask her to do something? Why would you tell her to leave town then?
and
You wanted me to ask her.
And Shizuda was like, well, I mean, I told her to leave town tonight. I told you to have her do something. It's still the middle of the day. I mean, if you're not punctual, that's not really on me now, is it, Tento? And
Lonnie, nip at her heels. Not Lonnie. Lumi, nip at her heels.
I like to imagine that's diegetic, and for a second you do tell Lonnie to nip at her heels.
Lonnie just gives Tento a look, and then
I like
Lumi mirrors that look later. Like, except Lumi's just more like less of like what the fuck and more like you don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and listen. There is going to be no bloodshed on this hill. So everybody just
It's just nip.
no breaking the skin through violence. Listen, that's very, very important. This is hallowed ground and a graveyard. And the Civil War and issues with the Soronetto nearby, I have no idea what happened in Hardhaft, mean that I am very sensitive about the state of my shrine. It is my life's purpose to keep. So maybe we could all, I don't know, have a civil conversation somewhere that isn't, you know, the resting place of the dead.
I don't know. I kind of like the background.
Teno, you want to bring that one up? You want to?
No, I don't.
Whip that out?
That's a horrible
You wanna whip
idea.
out False Tablet right now? I feel like that would have a very interesting effect. On Bayama's act.
Give this poor girl like a heart attack
Bro, yeah.
on her first day.
Instead of like 3 weeks from retirement, Bayama's like 3 years into her career. Like, I finally got that big promotion. I'm in charge now. I'm my own boss.
Lonnie is just going to size like, and did she ever find out the Anorak's name?
Yeah, they
You've
said
heard
you
her
could-
called Shizuda a few times.
Shizuda, how about if I can find out how long it'll take for them to get here, you'll stay and chat with Scout a little bit longer until he's apparently satisfied for getting what he paid for.
I'm intrigued. How do you know how long they're going to take to arrive? Do you know where they are right now? Do you have some means of scrying?
That's not part of the deal.
But why should I believe that you can gain that information reliably? And then she says, does your grandmother scratch her back with the pommel of a longsword? Which Tento understands to be thieves' cant, and she's asking if you
What is with
have
everyone in
informants. But you don't have thieves' cant, so that's exactly what Lonnie hears.
Why is everyone what's with everyone's grandmas? Why does everyone like to talk about their grandmas?
Well, I mean, nobody's gonna think it askance if somebody's like checking in on their like friend's grandma's health, you know?
Oh no, her grandma doesn't do that. let her know, like, yeah, no, I don't. She doesn't understand that. You just sound weird to her.
No, Lonnie's like legit. Like, why is everyone just like to talk about their grandmas? Is this like something that I should have learned by now to talk about my grandma?
I see. Well then. Alright. Shame I've wasted my invisibility potion only to be caught, but those things can be replaced. I am willing to have a civil exchange of further information, but what exactly do you want to know? And yes, Bayama, I think that we could quit to perhaps a more private bit of, woods or the north side of the hill generally, where we won't be disturbed by anyone.
What? But I like the scenery.
And she was like, well, you can enjoy the scenery in the bamboo.
Lonnie is just gonna go up to Tento, grab him by the arm and just start dragging him down, like give like a apologetic bow to Bayama as she leaves and just starts dragging him down the path that they came from.
But wait, someone's playing tic-tac-toe on that gravestone. I want to finish it.
And Lonnie's just gonna ask Lumi to just like nudge him.
You would notice, by the way, as you're going, there is this there are these two scuffed, overgrown stone pedestals that look like they're made of different stone from the graves, and there is this overgrown, mossy trench, in the dirt and between them. But it's like there's a stone.
Does
base
the
to
moss
it.
say anything to Lonnie?
You asked the moss anything?
I don't think Lonnie particularly cares enough right now. She might go investigate the shrine later, but maybe figure
Okay.
out the the invasion
Okay,
first.
so you guys step off into the great surround of bamboo. There is the faint chirping of birds, but generally speaking, you are surrounded by thick shafts and leafy overgrowth. She kind of hops up on some of them, balances between them, and says, "All right. I'm open for more speculation at this time, if you're interested, but remember, I can't guarantee any of this is correct. I told you everything I definitively knew."
That's all. Say I'm not quite sure what else I would like to ask. Why not just stay and fight? Can do that too.
Not been quite an hour since you did the ritual because you recently tried to find the bone
Yeah.
chalk.
How long has it been?
Say it's been like half an hour.
Okay.
Anyway, do that.
Lonnie may have forgotten about that.
Yeah, so you guys have an impasse, and she's like, "Stay and fight." I'm sorry. Do you think that there's any competent warriors left in this village after this many years of strife and civil war? Everybody is already fighting for one side or another. They were either imprisoned at the Old Bailey and have now joined this rebellion, or they were collected years ago and joined one of the factions or left the province.
Just saying, there's always a chance. We're pretty confident for the most part, and I'm sure Sophia would. Sure, she could do something. Just saying, being on the run all the time isn't fun.
That from experience.
That is definitely from experience.
She chortles and says, "I am a woman who plies her trade on the road." And that's not quite thieves' cant, but it is a bit of a euphemism, which is just sort of like Tento would understand means I chose this life. But she says after that, "Yeah, I think it's reasonable that I should want them to be defeated, but I don't have any reason to believe you're going to win this fight." The
That's also very true.
The Bone Shock Pride are hardened zealot warriors. They train and test themselves in battle almost constantly. Meanwhile, these villagers are people who weren't considered enough of a threat to arrest or draft, and lacked the will or means to join any of the rebellious organizations or bandit organizations. The people left here are just that. Left. They grow grain. They fish in the river. That's it. That's their life. They pick apples. They make cider. They don't kill people. You can shove a spear in their hands. But that doesn't make them a warrior. Aside from Captain Zephyr, most of the people here haven't even killed anyone. Do you remember your first time, Tento, taking someone's life?
And the shirt's like, ugh. Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
That was not a fun day.
How ready do you think they're going to be to fight after that happens? There'll be a mess, disarray, even if they manage to take any of them down. In case you were wondering, the Bone Chalk Pride doesn't accept anybody who has lost the Orc Mother's blessing.
That's a lot of people that just like have that passive. Huh.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, so Shizuda says, depending on their precise numbers, positioning, and how ready the village can get, how many days they have, I'll grant you, it's somehow possible. But what's your stake in all this? Why are you going to risk your life for... He trails off. What are you risking your life for? What's your stake in all this?
Getting a favor done.
A favor? Must be one hell of a favor. Is someone powerful? What are you expecting in return?
Honestly, not much. But I owe a favor to someone important.
What organization are they in?
None.
Intriguing. Well, I suppose if there's really been a favor called in for this village, then maybe more people are interested in the area than I was aware. So, that's why you two are working together? Some mysterious mover and shaker has called you both in? You and, of course, the wolf.
Oh, that's my stake in it, yeah. That's both our stakes. Just saying. Even if it seems a little impossible, I mean, unfortunately, we've been through worse, and we've made it on the other side. But that's with every bit of help. I know you're one for the road, but it'd be kind of nice not to look over your shoulder every single time.
And, maybe a persuasion roll.
Oh. Oh boy. I got this, guys. Why did I have well, I rolled a 12.
I don't believe in you as much.
She says, sorry, I don't know what kind of suicide mission you've been sent on, but in my profession, I'm more of a one-on-one close encounters of the dead kind and the moose type. I'm headed to Cathator, where I should be able to lose any trails. It's not like they're going to take down all the armies at once.
Are you sure? The guy...
Even a trained orc warrior is nothing compared to 50 of them. And even then, with even numbers, have you ever fought against the fists of Cathadak?
Oh, okay, yeah. As I say, it's like, no, not Cathadak. How I fell against some fists, though.
Well, I mean, those are like the group of people she's talking about.
Oh! Actually, I have.
Oh. Say, were you at Radachi?
Yeah.
What a shame. You probably saw that Anorak Fetcher hero everybody was talking about die. I would have liked to meet him. I hear he was quite charming.
Kind of had a big mouth.
What a shame.
Couldn't swim very well either.
Now that just sounds in poor taste. Now,
A little too soon. Calls out.
A web shoots out from the bamboo all of a sudden.
Lonnie considers throwing her shield at Tento, and then looks on the back of it. Does it seem like anyone who's heard about Cabancho might recognize the coin?
She
Jacket
she
or-
recognizes the symbol. Yeah. I mean, you were taking it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember,
I put my hand around
remember,
it, "Oh, it's not a
Bardiga,
cloak."
Bardiga made that the banner of the rebellion after he died.
Yeah.
So the coin is a well-recognized symbol at this point, and she's like, "Yeah, that's it. I've recognized it. Some young upstarts among the Anorak have started to identify with it, or they did while Cabancho was alive. Now that he's dead, I think that it might have even become more popular. Funny how those things work. Anyway, I'm not a young upstart. And I've got more news.
Wow! I thought that was on purpose.
Yeah, so do you guys, okay, so roll an insight. Roll an insight to what she's recently said. And other things. And, maybe you probably need to get insight. Okay. Alright, yeah, so you realize that she's got like armor on, she's got like clothing that's like covering her like carapace and stuff. And she does not like let it on, but when she says, the way she speaks, you, Lonnie and Tento begin to believe she's not just talking about herself or defending herself. She's not talking about her standing and dying, even though she would still not want to do that. She's extra resistant because she's got other people she's protecting when she's safe. Lonnie, you're not quite sure what that means. Maybe she has friends, maybe she got alliances. Penta, you think about it for a moment, and you remember a story about a wandering Anorak who carried her eggs on her back. And it is occurring to you that might be the same situation that's going on right now. Because there's enough space back there.
Oh. Then I was like, oh. Oh. Yeah, okay, you can go.
Does Lonnie have any response to that?
Yeah, Lonnie's gonna pipe in, just like, I mean, I understand why you want to go, but
I told Lonnie, I
there's
was
a
like,
chance that we can stop the killings
and I'm like,
here.
Lonnie. Just, I whispered to her, it's like, she might be with child.
Yeah, Lonnie will stop what she's saying there.
After I whispered that.
And she's like, she realized that you've like, you know, picked up what she's laying down, and she nods and she says, I appreciate your sympathy. Here, take this. And she whips out a cylinder of like these like glass rims. It's like a glass side and like metal tips. This cylinder of ensconcing vapors. And she offers it to Tento.
Ooh, new toy.
Consider it a parting gift. Sell your lives dearly, or maybe make it out of there alive. Either way, the more you delay them, the more time I have to get ahead and set up a nest. A web, rather. And she kind of like, you know, tips her knot cap at you and says, I'm sorry, but I really don't think that I have anything else I can say that can help you, other than to warn you that Gregor does have great power with the Logos.
Huh.
The
Ain't one of
things
those
he
before.
calls down. I don't know if you've ever seen a cleric call down a beam of light, but the thing he does makes that look like child's play. And when his blade is turned to smite his foe, they say, or I've seen dreams, but I knew it was true. It's like it grows bones that stab acid marrow into them. I mean, it's... Ugh. I don't envy you facing him, even if he didn't have Spider Cutter.
Does that sound like someone who learned the logos, or got some other ways, or even if it's natural to achieve that. And two, what deity might be behind it if it seems like it's actually the Logos.
It seems really odd. There's a couple ways to wind up being able to speak the Logos. I mean, bards can do it, you know. They don't necessarily need a deity. But, yeah, this sounds... I mean, roll me, I would say, a religion with advantage, because you have a pretty good background to know this.
Those are like, I ate a Logos once. It wasn't that hard.
Shizuda's like, you what? Yeah, so... she's describing like a pretty powerful individual, still not outside the general auspices of what a paladin should be able to do, but a pretty powerful one. You know that, generally speaking, a paladin's vow is what awakens them to Logos, and they normally have a pretty select list of amount of things they can do compared to other like casters of this type, right? It sounds like something is making his abilities more powerful, or he is just a really good, strong paladin. But the former seems more likely. The only thing that you're aware of right now that could be explaining it, other than he really was just like a fate. You are aware there are individuals born into this world who are known sometimes as favored souls, because something about their soul connects them to the word that makes the world, to Logos, and they can more easily speak it. It's possible that if one were both a favored soul and a paladin, their abilities would complement or augment one another, but there's just as much a chance they would go the wrong way. So it's hard to say. I would say you probably need to do a little more research and maybe know a little bit more about Tregor.
I thought you said Trogdor for a second there.
Okay. In terms of who could be behind it, you know that there is like a patron deity stroke progenitor of the orcs, but you don't think that this sounds like her MO at all. The Bone Chalk Pride is an ideological organization probably based around tenets of some either religious belief or philosophical belief or warrior ethic. If you could discover their ethos or learn more about them, you might be able to make an educated guess. But right now, it's really hard to say. He could just be a particularly powerful paladin, and that would all still kind of check out.
And the time that we've been in town or the shrine, did it look like there were books in the shrine or like a library or something in town?
There's not a library in the town. You did see some books in the shrine. They were like, there's like a number, there's like 2 stands with like places to write your name for visiting the shrine. And like underneath both of them, there is a place to stack books. And there's a scroll case, but like it's not a library. There are some texts there.
But the number seems unlikely for it to be like about other religions, just whichever deity might be here, or
it's probably a personal library kept in the shrine. It could be pretty wide ranging depending on a number of factors, so you wouldn't count it out as impossible, but it's not guaranteed.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's more or less what transpires here, and Shizuda, after giving you that item, is going to skedaddle.
Now has it been 30 minutes?
Yes. Before you do the eye, though, I think we pop back to the river.
Okay.
So, okay. You guys are, just gonna make this one taller. You guys are near the river, right? And as you push your way through the shrubs and the greenery, are you guys trying to maintain a stealthy footing, or are you trying to make haste?
I think
I would
Does-
say haste.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, does the scouting party know that everyone else got fucked? That's my question. Probably not. So, yeah, make haste. Rush 'em.
120L is trying to hastily go tie up the remaining survivors. So definitely not
that-
stealthy.
Does that include Zion too?
I think it has enough sense to know it does include Zion. Now the other two though are survivors that need to be tied up.
You know, I can't argue with that logic.
Yep. So all right. Everybody who wants to go fast, roll me athletics. Everyone who wants to be sneaky, roll me a stealth.
Oh man, if only it was advantage.
And what a strong robot boy. You know, Zion, and we all try our best. That's what matters.
So it's planting season. People are out here with their hoes, working the land. The old man says you won't get anything done hoeing like that, and then shows them how it's done. There is, generally speaking, work to be done around here, and people are planting in wet patches near the river. It seems they do rely to an extensive degree on irrigation, maybe at some point floods. And yeah, that's more or less the situation. You guys, Orochi and Zion, you break cover from the tree line. At around the same time, you see, well, you were following the tracks. Roll me a perception.
Who?
Orochi and Zion. Oh, and Tabir, because you roll athletics. Yeah. And wait, oh, hold on. 120L also roll athletics, right?
Everyone
Yeah,
rolled
although
athletics.
120L is more following their
Uh,
tracks rather than the tracks of.
Sure, yeah, so you don't have to...
Because,
It's a
yeah,
perception,
behind.
right?
So does
Jesus
120L
Christ,
still
guys.
need to?
Oh, I'm
do
not
it just in
Tento, but yeah,
case.
Tento would have been higher.
I don't know. It seems like Tento. He rolled an at one and got the roll again. Again.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
no.
guys! I'm sorry, I ruined it. It should have been 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have rolled a 9.
Is it even possible for you to get a 9 on the perception?
As Tento?
Oh, right, you're not Tinta right now.
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, so... You guys come upon the side of the river. The beer spots them. They are lying in the cut near some villagers who are presently discussing, oh, it's planting season. We better get it all in before the summer really starts. Yeah, gotta get all that rainfall. Ooh, be ready for the seasonal flooding from the snow melt as well. And they're just, discussing farmer things in the sun. And,
So
occasionally...
they don't notice those guys.
No, so those guys are, like, hidden a ways away. And there's one hobgoblin commoner who's, like, a little bit further out. And there is agriculture going on here. And there are, before I get too crazy decorating these places, I will actually show you guys the enemies. Basically, here is the situation. You've got two these NPCs. You've got two of them up here in like the bush, if you will. And they got an eye on a dude who sort of like come near them to check on like a bag of seed that he has sort of up in the decidedly dry zone. And you guys just sort of break the tree line. Pretty hard.
Has 120L caught up to them, or?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you guys come out like here. 120L is like a bit behind, but or actually, what's your athletic? Let me check
It
everyone's
was
athletics.
like a 21.
Okay, yeah, actually, so Tibir, you've caught up to the main group.
Tiberius
Tibir's
looking
out ahead of the med group. 120L has caught up to the main group. Roshi did good. Zion did all right. You guys are roughly aligned in this way, near a bit of a tree line. And yeah,
Real
that's
quickly, where are we on the map?
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm not shifting you. I'm a boom.
Well, so I can only see half of one of the hobgoblin tokens,
Yeah.
and it seems like there's more to the south, but I can't see it. Like I can't scroll down.
Oh! I dragged the tokens off. I didn't move them, didn't I? Oh no, I did.
I see the hobgoblin commoners on the path to our north, and I can see everyone just.
Yeah, I see a hobgoblin goblin and a hobgoblin commoners. And I
Three
see the same thing
hobgoblins.
Shin sees with the half guy.
I do not, so I wonder if that's a refresh thing.
Okay, I'm gonna try refreshing roll 20. Because it seems like the map has got cut off at some point.
Yeah.
Well, so there is
does
a
not seem like that to me.
line of sight in like to the north that is blocking the view of like the woods, but that
It wasn't on the line of
be-
sight thing. It seems like just the edge of the map from like normal. Okay, I can see everything now.
Yeah, I was like, it looks fun on my screen, so I feel like it might
Yeah,
either like
it's a
I'm like
refresh
one
situation.
of us is lagging.
Yeah. So you guys put a focus on arriving fast. They realize you're there. One of them runs up, like pushes over this guy who's like, ah, and he points the sword at him, and he looks at you guys and says, "Stay back, or he dies." And the other one breaks cover, looks at Tibir and says, "Tibir, the weakling outcast," and sort of spits. And yeah, Tibir does not feel great about the fact that he said those things to him, but his eyes are on the prize. So we find out after our 10:30 break what's gonna happen next. Thank you all for coming back. We'll be back at 10:40 p.m. Eastern on the dot. Thank you, players, for keeping me on track about that. Woo.
Okay, now I see everything. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
was
we're
very-
all getting
Yeah,
it?
we're all good now. I was very confused when you were explaining things. Like, oh, maybe you just didn't load us in yet.
No, I was speed mapping as I was explaining.
See you guys when you come back.
Back at 10:40 on the dot. Whew. Squeeze me. Wait, so okay, we're back. We're back. The 10-minute break is over. Is everyone back? Is Casey absent? Am I here? Are we good? Casey's here. We're all here. Sorry, I feel like I trailed off. All right,
That's
so
good. Casey hasn't said anything, so.
well, her
probably
camera's
not
back.
yet.
Camera's
Yeah.
back, so she's here. We're good. I think we're good. But basically, the way this fight starts is you're in your relative positions, right? There is like this relative bit of clearing, but there is, you know, probably a cluster of rock. Constituting natural difficult terrain, and there's some barrels farm supplies nearby. That's that is the situation. So essentially, you find yourselves at an impasse. Or, I mean, maybe you don't. This guy has shoved this dude onto the ground, and he's pointing his sword at him like he's going to kill him. This other dude has a throwing axe in hand. After you emerge, they both, like, you know, ready in action to attack you and this guy, respectively, should you surge forth. The villagers looking over in fear and awe. I think that's your that's your situation. How do you guys think that you are responding to that immediately?
Oh, 120L still has the rope out. And it's like gonna start making its way towards Tiberian and Hiroshi, but then sees the Shock Warriors like, oh, they look like the people I was ordered to knock unconscious earlier.
Yeah.
Start going towards them.
Tiberian wants to shoot the guy who's got the villager.
Zion
Alright.
will also be moving forward.
So Zion's going to move up. 120L is going to move up. Tiber is going for the shot on the hostage taker. And Hiroshi?
Oroshi's gonna hold his ground, gather power to do a extended gusting wind because he's just out of reach.
Alright.
Gonna move faster.
Tiber, give me that shot. And then after these stated actions occur, they're going to go and we're going to roll initiative. Because they've got some ready things. Alright, so you deal 4 piercing on this guy.
Dang it.
And the next shot goes wide. His, you know, he did not make an empty threat. His greatsword plunges.
Yep.
Attack
Okay.
with advantage.
Do we get a dash along with
Oh, with
movement or
advantage,
just
good.
movement?
I would let you dash in.
So order of operation does matter
Hmm.
because I'm trying to displace him to get him out of reach of that person.
Yeah, so
How do we want to run
ready-
this?
okay, I think Tiber, like their actions trigger once Tiber shoots his bow. Or any
Okay.
other thing is done to attack them, or any of you guys rush forward. So literally, when any of you guys does anything that you guys said you will do, this dude stabs.
Okay.
So, Hiroshi, you gonna try and rush in as you see this happen and try and like pop the shot? Okay, simple.
Well, I
blast.
don't need to rush in. I could not move and extend my range to 120 feet.
Okay, so you get a 30. You deal 13 plus 5 damage, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets a strength save.
Jeez.
This is why I wanted to get mine to go first, because if I displace him, he doesn't get his attack.
So
But I mean, he doesn't get displaced, so I guess he still would anyways.
yeah, so you do deal the damage. Unfortunately, the Orc Mother's Blessing pops him up. That attack does go through.
Bless you.
He deals 6 damage, leaving the hostage down at 0 gaming. He rolls a failure on his first death save. Everybody is where they are, right? And that's you guys have dashed in as far as you can in a single dash. It is now. Oh, and this guy was holding his action to throw an axe. He is going to chalk a throwing axe at Zion. 22 hits unless Zion wants to shield it.
Nope.
It deals 8 slashing.
Nice. That's my temp HP.
Yeah. It twings off of your shoulder. With a bit of a jostle to the frame.
Oh, right. Initiative's a thing.
Yeah.
Needs to roll 3. Disappointment. I'm disappointed in all of you.
So
120L doesn't have shit decks either. I just roll shit for 120L.
all right.
I rolled a 2.
Hiroshi,
What's
the
it like
fight.
to not be on top anymore?
The fight pops off. It's everybody's go. The villagers are like ah, and like hit the deck. Goblin rolls behind a tree. The hobgoblins are diving for the dirt.
I'm also going to. Does Tiberius know to not stand right in front of me?
I don't think Tiberius has seen you fight.
He seen me fight once, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't think that he's exactly like changed the way he's fought after witnessing you do a thing once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that
If-
I think
if you want me-
Tiberius is where he is until his turn when he moves again.
Because he's not really like a familiar ally. I'll let you rule this the way you would, but my action does not change. I'm going to once again use my movement to gather power so
Mhm.
that I can do an extended composite blast without spending burn.
All right, and this is a line attack, or no? It's a composite blast, right?
It's a composite blast, so it's another like single target one.
Okay, sure.
But
yeah,
I spent some points to extend the reach
All right.
past 60.
Off the shot, it goes whirling around over Tiberius' shoulder, and then under the warrior's elbow as it blusters his cape very greatly. As
This
wind
one is
shoots-
the lightning wind blast.
and lightning goes around behind him. Looks very badass.
That'll
You
be
missed by
my
one.
turn.
Yep.
No.
Zion, it's your turn.
I've literally missed by 1 twice when fighting these guys.
Alright. I will stroll up. Give him a good thrashing.
Stroll up. I'm gonna give him the fruit roll up. Yeah, as it turns out, the 1 HP orc who's already used orc blessed the orc mother does not survive Zion's crit. As you just absolutely pound his face and pop
you
his body
sure?
down into the seed bag, which pops a bit and some seeds go spewing out to the north.
Is he dead?
He
Yeah.
is alive, right? Or no?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he's
alive.
Popped
I-
in a super wonderful way.
That's amazing you didn't kill him.
And I'll stroll on down here. Give this one a bash.
All right, that's it.
9.
Yeah, you deliver 9 damage to the Bone Shock Warrior.
Dang,
Zion's
I don't
turn.
do work this game.
120L, it's your turn. It's there's you see Mastar is engaged in some combat. Survivors are untied.
Actually, is the top one down yet?
Yeah, I should put his HP to 0. He's
You know what?
he's unconscious.
Then 120L is going to start tying up the survivor.
Yeah, 120L just takes out some rope. Whoop, 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 starts
He's
tying him
gonna
up.
walk over.
Combat Shiobari ensues.
Tiberius gonna look very confused at the robot not fighting.
It was the last order.
Yeah,
No,
and,
that doesn't make him any less confused.
Bone Shock Warrior. That Bone Shock Warrior is unconscious. This Bone Shock Warrior would switch weapons to a Great Axe and swing it. 22 does hit unless you want to shield that.
Yeah.
Alright, it goes through for
Taking
12
all the hits
slashing
today.
as it hacks in under your pauldron. It's a of boo, and the Bone Shock Warrior is amazed to see no blood within, and looks at you and says with almost like an awe on his face, "A warrior made of metal. This shall be a glorious day." And that was his turn. Tiberius. Darwin?
Yeah, I'm just looking at his skills.
You should have. Oh, actually, I don't know
No.
if Tibir has aggressive.
What's aggressive? Is that the thing that makes you go towards the target? He doesn't.
Yeah, he not have that.
Dang it. Ah, well. Tiberius just gonna move a little bit shoot him first. Pew pew. Well, that one hit.
Yep. So you strike your foe with 6. For 6. One arrow goes wide. One arrow hits. You move in. That's your go. You're
Yep.
popping arrows. Some of them are flying wide, flapping into the river. People are noticing that arrows are getting shot, and people are screaming like blows are being drawn. This is happening like in a farm field on a river. People all around are beginning to notice. Some people are beginning to like pick up their plows or like sticks and like run over. Is initiative order 0. I feel like if the fight were to go on any longer, people would begin to arrive, but you know, one guy left. Orochi, what do you do?
I mean, so we know Tabir told us it was 6 people, and these are the last 2 people, right? We more or less know that these are the last 2 scouts.
I
Yeah,
thought
it's-
he just said something like there were just 2 more up.
Yeah, based on what Tabir said, there's 6 total. You got 4 earlier. There are 2 here. That's
And
a logical conclusion.
and this river is,
Is the river
Murky?
the big one you covered?
or is
Actually,
it just like
it shouldn't look as murky as I made it look because this is actually a relatively freshwater river.
okay?
Um,
I just wanted to know if this was one of those hey, dangerous, stay away rivers, or is like, oh yeah, this is like
no,
not
this
the
is,
cleanest, but it's not gonna kill you type river.
it's actually not in the polluted zone.
Okay,
So I should not have
so there's
used
no
the
reason
fallout
for me to
water
worry
thing.
about the river right now.
The water. It's river water, but it's relatively clear because you're pretty close to where it runs off the mountain.
I have full faith in my allies. Orochi is going to fly towards the river and start looking for any kind of. Or wait, how wide is the river? So I guess I should ask first.
Over 100 feet wide, maybe closing on 200 feet. Really, it depends on which part of the bend you're at. Or at a bit of a curve in the river.
So they could swim it, but they would have to be like
They would be
full committed
swimming.
swim.
It is not an impossible river to swim. It is not a fast river to swim, and it is not a stealthy river to swim necessarily, unless someone were to dive and hold their breath. But that's
Oroshi's gonna start
Generally
looking for
not.
some kind of transportation, some kind of boat, something that they were trying to escape from, escape with.
All right. I would say what you'd immediately see is there are some like shallow draft riverboats pulled up on the shore near like a storage shed, but it's like 100 feet to the east of here. It's not terribly nearby.
But they were more or less coming to the north around like they're just heading straight north around this point, or they were just coming to this area.
When you found them, they were crouched behind these bushes.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't like they could have creeped towards those boats.
Yeah.
Or they could have been just surveying the whole area because you have a good view from here.
Yeah.
You have a good
Oroshi's
view of the
gonna-
riverbank that would be blocked by the trees if you were up in that big tree.
Oroshi's going to hold an attack, extended gusting wind, on anyone that looks like the Bone Chalk Warriors. Maybe like they're waiting for a boat to come by, one of their friends. I don't know, but I'm gonna wait and hold my attack for that.
All right, Zion, it's your turn.
I guess no one wants to hit this guy.
You give him.
Hey,
One
I
person
tried.
chose not
I
to hit
did.
him.
You give him the first punch, it sets him down. Orc Mother's Blessing triggers. You give him the second punch, it finishes him off. He is down and unconscious. He pads the dirt. Orochi, nobody comes to back them up. In fact, generally speaking, people begin to flood in, demanding to know what's happening. Some people with sticks, some people with weapons. They don't recognize you guys either. They're pretty standoffish with you, but these commoners tread back, and they're like, they helped us, but oh my god, they stabbed Jim. And in fact, you witness that Jim, regrettably, as you reach him, Jim has breathed his last. He's fucking dead.
Some,
Did he roll a 1? Oh,
some-
wow,
Yep,
doesn't
he
this
did.
seem familiar?
some deja vu right there.
Yeah, right? Yeah, strange.
Deja vu. I'm sure I've been in this place before.
No, Kabanchi. Oh no, it's that.
But wait.
No,
God.
falling for the second time.
Boncho
Get
died
Boncho
to go
too.
be an initial D racer. All right. So, yeah. So there's some people here who would like to, or like, not really sure what's happening. They look like farm types. Mostly they have like clubs, sticks. Somebody has a trident, maybe used for fishing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they saw the commotion. They rushed over and they're like, "Well, what's going on here? What's going on?" And then they learn about Jim's death. And they're like, "Oh my god, Jim!" And Crown, did you? Who did this? And then they look at the blade sword, like, "Oh, that guy." And after someone's like, "Hey, why are they still alive?" And someone's like, "Oh," and they look odd. They're not moving to me. No, they're definitely still alive. And there's sort of a bit of a clamor, and they look around, like, what's the big idea? Who are you people? What is this?
Tie up the other one.
Now you just start tying up the other guy, and like, whoa. Is this a prisoner taking kind of operation here? What's going on? And someone else is like, yeah, well, I mean, what are we gonna do? Just murder them? They murdered fucking Jim! We need to figure out what's going on here. And they're looking around, and they're like, so wait, Orochi, are you flying right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not dash to fly up in the air.
The Hobgoblin commoners are like, what's yeah, like I don't know. It seemed like they popped out, and the moment they saw him, they took Jim hostage, and then the fight happened, and Jim died. And yeah, that's
You know what? Y'all come to the... Where do they do business again?
the town hall.
Town hall later, and everything will be explained. Right now, we need to get these people out of here.
All right, give me a persuasion. Let's see how well Tybeer does.
Tybeer's charisma?
I mean, no one else is talking.
I mean, they're kind of just ignoring me, so I'm just gonna let them ignore me.
Well, like this goblin.
I mean, if you want
hey,
120
hey, Mister, aren't you like the one who did like the wind blast and stuff?
Aren't you doing lightning and the wind and
I-
the boom bop?
I appreciate your attempts to save our friend there. It's a shame they didn't really work out. But are you guys like working with like the town or something, like Alton Hilda or Zafia or somebody?
We're working with the captain.
With Captain? Oh, you mean Zafia? Okay.
Sorry,
Hmm.
Sophia. I keep calling her captain.
They're like, well, we should go. Well, I mean, she is a captain.
She is a captain, though.
We should go. Well, we should go see Captain Zafia then, and before that can happen, a
actually-
pretty sizable group.
Wasn't Sophia chasing? I don't know if.
What
I mean,
did
like,
Sophia
she was
do?
like very far behind, but like, didn't she also go check out the situation and some? Was she gonna go check? out
Yeah,
the scouts?
so she was, and she arrives. She arrives here with several more people who have more often like spears, at least. Of course, I don't have her.
Token.
But yeah, so Captain Zafia is here. She's got
Speaking of,
some people from town. They're pretty armed, and she's like, "That's right. They're working with us. These orcs are part of a scouting party." And everyone's like, "What?" Yeah, there's gonna be a very important announcement at town hall. For now, everybody should be careful. Planting is off for the day. Well, what do you mean? We gotta get the crops in. Yeah, but it's more important we don't lose anybody. And, there's some people backing her up here. Armed. And people kind of like, I guess. And overall, the situation is diffused by her arrival. She steps up and she's like, "Good, we got prisoners." And she leans into his Tibir and she's like, "Where are the other 4? Are they accounted for?"
Yes, they are tied up a little further back. Well, 2 of them are. The other 2 are dead.
All right, good. We'll go collect them and then figure things out at town hall. And that she slaps her on the shoulders and says, "Good work, everyone." And she's gonna give a little. And they're like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "It means you should fucking guard this place and make sure nobody comes back." "Oh, okay." "You 4, come with me." "Huh?" "Yeah, we're going to the town hall." But I left my shoe." "What do you mean?" "Oh my god, why are you only wearing 1 shoe?" I ran over, it got stuck in the mud." "Go get your fucking shoe, okay." And she just kind of like rubs her face in her hand. She's like, "Well, quite the operation we have here. We should bundle these guys up and bring them in." 120 Oleg starts tie beer with rope in
Stop
hand.
it.
Whoa, what are you doing there, buddy?
120.
Stop it.
You can stop now.
Voice not. See, look.
okay, 120 I'll stop.
Okay, now let's gather up these people.
Yeah, so you guys have 4 Bone Shock warriors alive and imprisoned. You confiscate presumably all the weapons you find. Captain Zafia ensures that they check for all their weapons, and you all return with her, I assume, to the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be a reason why Pento and Lonnie did not also return to the town hall?
Lonnie wants to do the ritual before the
Right. So
spider
before that happens, you do your ritual again. Give me your tests.
Nope, not as 120 y'all.
What? It's 120 on Oracle too? My gosh.
Very good.
First
One of these
magic
days.
resistance, now Oracle powers.
Are you sure this is you sure you didn't roll as 120L? These are some bad rolls.
Okay, 120 y'all did great on that effect.
All right, yeah. So, your eye casts up the river, and you see bundled up camps and tents in some carts being like drawn by 2 donkeys and others like by hand. Everybody is armed, and there are some figures there who seem almost to glow in your eyes. And you know that it is somewhere in the southwest, vaguely where you saw it, and they are making their way along the riverside through the mountains and the craggy hills. And they are, probably gonna be here soon, trademark. But you don't know when that is. You don't really know how far they are. You get a swimmingness and a blue. It's like it's like an eyedropper of salt water splashes in your eye. You get irritated. Everything unfocuses, and you find yourself a bit queasy and lightheaded.
Lonnie, after she like
Oh,
settles herself down again, we'll just let her know that like I can't find out an exact time at this point, but they are upriver.
You
So
know,
if you
just
want
is
to get away, then you
Yeah,
best
that-
head the other way.
you know, she says that's helpful information. I'll head downriver, and
Oh.
if we should meet again, hopefully it will be under more fortuitous circumstances. I'd love to
Agreed.
chat. And she you know, tips her walking stick to you, and she fucks off. Now do you guys head back to the town center? Town hall?
oh well, we're gonna fetch Baima.
Bayama? Yeah, you want to come to Bayama?
Yeah, until okay, so
Hi, yeah. What I just read this letter. Apparently, there's a bone shock pride coming, and they've got a lot of orcs, and
mhm.
they're probably gonna destroy the village.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, okay, so you seem pretty caught up.
What?
Um,
They're gonna come destroy my home. This is the only home I've ever known, and I already had another home destroyed when I was an infant. What the fuck?
Yeah. So
And she's a little cut up. She's a little shaken.
yeah, don't worry though. We'll try our best to make sure that your home doesn't get destroyed.
Try your best. Who are you? Why are you involved? How do you know Shizuda? Why does she have all those questions about the shrine? I don't understand.
Lonnie was close to apologizing for Tento's idiocy, but maybe calling the person who just promised that he's gonna try to help an idiot might not be the best move right now, so she'll reluctantly refrain.
You know, she said she did mention to me that you could do something that might disrupt what's his name again?
Tregor. Tregor
Tregor.
12 touched.
You might be able to do something that might disrupt Tregor. That's the big paladin guy. Something about bringing up spirits of his teacher and something else. What was the other thing? There are two figures.
Wait, was this stuff that was mentioned when, like,
When I
in
first
this
talked
session or
to
last time?
it's the last
Okay.
session.
All right. So yeah, you bring that up, and she's like, "What? Oh my! You mean all their spirits here? Well, 2 nights from now is the full moon. I guess we could do the ritual. I'd have just enough time to prepare, but I mean, normally spirits are called by people who knew them in life. All you know is their relation to a third person you've never met. It's gonna be tricky.
How tricky are we talking?
He's like, well, one time I saw the old shrine keeper do it. He seemed to know what he was doing. It wasn't easy though, and I was there to help him. She looks at Lonnie and she's like, not to presume, but I get the feeling that you know something about, you know, spirits and magic.
Yeah, she's a cleric.
Oh, a wandering Saishi with the Fetchers. How wonderful that you've come to lend your aid to the people. All right, well, maybe you are an upstanding band, and I was too quick to judge. How many of you? Perhaps 10 or 20 in your motley crew, and you are but the outriders, or
Divide that 10 in half.
oh, 5 of you.
Oh, actually,
They're
I guess 6
capable.
technically.
Hmm.
I forgot to count 120L.
Somehow I feel like 7 would be a more secure number, but I guess it'll do.
I like your attitude.
Yeah, well, I guess I gotta keep my spirits up.
I get it.
She said there's an imminent attack though, and it's 2 nights. It's 2 days from now that we'll have the full moon. we can't do the ritual without the full moon. That's just how it works. And just so you know, if they weren't sent or buried in the proper style of, the Soronetto, there could be complications with calling their spirits here. She looks at the fact that the old stone pedestals are rather scuffed, one of them with a deep dent in it.
I'm presuming that's why these things are like this?
Well, yeah, I mean, before my time, but let's just say sometimes when you bring back two spirits with a powerful relation to one another, kind of trails off, and she's like, it's a bit of a philosophical debate as to whether or not spirits know they're dead. But sometimes, depending on their relation, it allows them to recognize that the other is dead. And that can create problems, because there's no soul present to process the grief and change, just a knowledge of how painful it would have been. And if the dance turns in that direction, I don't know how much I could do to contain it.
Well, I think in our situation, that might be a risk worth taking.
All right. And you think that bringing these two spirits together is gonna make the difference?
Tinto's gonna inspect the area here while he talks to her. He's like, yeah, we're trying to take any advantage we could possibly have.
All right. Yeah. Well, if there's really some band of orcs descending from the hills to attack our village, then I guess that's what we have to do. And that's yeah. I mean, Bayama reluctantly agrees, but says, "But I really feel like we should talk to Altenhilda and some of the other people at the town hall. I mean, if there's an attack."
Already done that.
Oh, what are they going to do about the attack? Do they have a plan?
I'm sure they have a plan, but it is a good idea to go to town hall anyways. That's probably where everyone's gonna meet up. Oh.
All right. The biome was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just like close up here and bring my journal." And she hops into the shrine, grabs something, like kind of close the flaps and ties them shut with rope. She's like, "All right, I'm ready to go."
Can Tinto look at the messed up two thingies here real quick?
Yeah, you inspect them. You give me an investigate to give a real close read.
That's pretty good.
So,
Oh.
Yeah, you guys gather here. All y'all plus Tibir. Wait a minute. There are 7 of you. As long as you count Lumi, 120L, and Tibir.
Oh yeah, Tibir. Just play this one
Count
too.
Tiger, yeah.
I did not plan that. I could not have planned that. That's beautiful.
Did my investigation bring up anything, Lee?
So, yeah, with a 20, you look very closely at the stone. And you see that the little divot that runs between them, it looks washed in a way that doesn't quite come out. It almost looks like a bloodstain, but the color is wrong, and it seeped into stone and discolored it. And blood doesn't really do that. It's a different kind of thing, and it gives you a strange feeling to touch it. And as you look around it, it looks like it's the tip of something. The top of something. This hill is, I don't know, built around or grew up around over time. You feel like these two pedestals are paired by more than just the groove between them, but without excavating a graveyard, you're not going to get any deeper on that one.
Oh, is this like
Hmm.
the two stone pedestals and the mossy
Yeah.
trench?
Yeah. So what you're investigating right now, I'll pie back. Why is stone sus? There's also a great amount of life. And it's not just that there's a lot of greenery here, it almost feels like the life is more lush and vibrant in this trench and around this stone and dirt. And it feels like between the two pedestals is just like a great font of natural life. Lonnie, you didn't talk to it while you had talk with plants on, but just to gaze upon it, it looks vibrant. It looks thick. It looks almost as lush as the life was around the healing pool.
And I presume Bayama did anyone ask her about this, or we just
You guys-
looking around her place?
You guys didn't give her an in-depth question, but when she sees Sento looking very in-depth, she's going to say, "Oh yes, the ancient stones, older than the village, the graveyard, or the shrine."
Wait, what was it? The what that watches over the shrine?
Watches over? Question mark?
Right, sorry. Repeat the last sentence.
She's like older than anything, the village or
older than
the graveyard or
anything,
the
okay.
shrine.
Is Lonnie able to tell if it's like of druid, influence, or is this like just a natural thing?
It doesn't. It looks carved of stone in a deliberate fashion. You could roll me a history if you want to, as Tento, but it doesn't feel Druidic. Nothing about it indicates that it would be. With the Tento, you don't have any idea. With the 15, I will give you this, Lonnie. It doesn't look like the stone passageway that you came through in the mountains. But you are reminded of the fact that there were civilizations here before the Kehoe arrived, but they existed in a time where monsters, spirits, demons, beasts, the Fae, kaiju would just wander through and crush things. So, without the Soronetto, only certain kinds of isolated societies tended to exist. If it's truly older than the landing, the arrival of the Kehoe, then it would have to be one of them who made it. It's also possible that maybe one of those entities that had no need for a Soronetto, no fear of those things, did this. Or this is some ruin of something else. It's also possible they're wrong.
This hole, does it look like it's a tunnel, or does it just look like it ends?
There's not, so like, there's the pedestals,
Oh.
and there's like a trench
Okay.
at equal depth that runs between them. At first blush, it just looks like a divot in the dirt with like moss growing over it. When you get in there and look and move stuff aside with your hand, you can see that there is like a half pipe of stone down in it. And she says, "Yes, that's the conjunction. That's in a sense the river. The twin rivers flow from the pedestals into that, and yeah, I mean, one could ask why it's not called one lake, two lakes, one river, but you know, I didn't name the shrine; I extended it." Yeah.
Okay.
So you could do whatever you wanted here. Or rather, okay. She basically what she tells you is These are very fucking old. It's possible that she has no source proving that this is as old as she says it is, and they just say that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a more quote-unquote modern history than the villagers here know or believe. It's also honestly, I'll give you this. You know that claiming that something is pre-landing is sometimes done with a religious site of a proscribed religion that people want to pretend isn't what it is.
Okay.
So if this belongs to a faith which is not accepted by the temple, most religions are allowed in the Albarian Empire, but some, such as the worship of like a demon, for example, like if you're a demon cultist, that's not gonna fly most of the time.
Yeah.
Not to say that's what's here, but like that's one way to sweep it under the rug. So,
Oh, how old does the stonework look?
I mean, you don't have carbon dating, but you would believe it's ancient. You'd believe it's as old as the ancient pass you passed through. You'd believe that. But you've seen really old stone ruins that you know are only, 120 years old. So, there's you don't recognize the style of architecture, and just from what you see here, pedestals and like segmented like bits, it appears functional. There's no grand designs or motifs or writing. It appears that its form fits a function. So yeah, that's more or less what you guys learn. Bayama is eager to be around people she is familiar with to talk about this impending disaster.
And don't look like they're about to desecrate graves.
I mean, she's kind of cooled on you, being worried about you after she learned you're a cleric. So, but yeah, like,
Yeah.
she doesn't want you guys not toppling over a fucking tombstone, basically.
Hento wouldn't do that. He's learned his lesson, right?
Has he actually ever toppled a tombstone?
I mean, he rummaged through people's dead homes and graves.
Is there anything else, Scout, or are we just gonna head back now?
I think, yeah, we're good.
Aaron, you're muted.
I think we're good for here now. I think we should meet up with everyone else. Hopefully they're done beating up them scouts.
Yep. You guys arrive back in... Oh, I haven't popped out the roll window this whole time. Haha. You guys pop back to the town hall. There is all... in the streets, people are saying, "Oh, the orcs attacked! Jim is dead! Oh, not Jim!" So there's fear, there's commotion, there's people all up in the street. There's peasants all sorts, there's people with their donkeys, there's bugbears with carts. Oh me, oh my. You guys make it back to town, and the town hall, they've drugged the 4 prisoners here, and there's a general pandemonium as people cry out about what to do and what's happened, and Zafia is shouting, "Order, everyone! This is not time to run around like kips with our heads cut off. We need to close ranks and take this seriously."
I'm gonna scooch up. There's like you know you're talking to a bunch of like villagers, right?
And she rounds on you, and she points a finger, and she says, "Listen here, Ulkiros. Every single Aurori is a warrior. We are the nobles of the hearth because we eat, hunt, fight as one. Maybe the people here aren't first-string warriors, but I'll tell you what every Aurori can be when the time comes to it. A soldier! They just need good discipline. Even...
And that's how you lose people. You need to thin them down a little bit.
Althenhilda's like, "Zafia, I think he's right. We can't..." She pounds the table.
I get it. I get the urgency, but these aren't warriors and they're certainly not going to become warriors in the next couple of days.
Not warriors, but soldiers. And she's like, everyone, you're fine. You know, you make your point. Listen, we need to be calm, and we need to talk about what's happened. We're gathered here around the hearth, as is our tradition, because great decisions need to be made. We know that the enemy has scouted our position. They are in the hills, and they are coming for us. Bulbridge pipes up and says, how do you know that? And how do you know they're the enemy? All I see is you've dragged 4 people here. As you can tell by their war paint, they're with the Bone Chalk Pride. Raiders in the region. Bulbridge, twirls his mustache, looks and does see that they do have, chalk war paint, and says, perhaps. But just because you found some of them doesn't verify the rest of what you're saying. He waves at Tento and says, you there, what can you tell us? What's happening here, really? And Tuva Rocksplitter pounds the table and she's like, why are you being such a damn coward, Fulbert? This is great for your business. You're a damn blacksmith and we're going to need weapons. And Fulbert's like, this isn't about the business, Tuva. This is about what Zafia is cooking up here by telling us we all have some sort of military obligation. And Zafia kind of flowers at him.
This isn't exactly military obligation. This is an obligation to see everyone to safety.
Alright, so you're gonna pop in the door, and Altenhilde says, that's true. We need to get everybody safe, but everybody who's willing to fight can. Captain Zafia says, the higher our numbers, the better our odds of success. If we all close ranks and raise our spears as one.
Yeah, why are we all outside the room and Tento's in there? What?
Yeah. Sorry, you guys are in the room. It's gonna be a cluster in here.
It's only just me talking to them.
You're all.
You guys
Why
are
do we
yelling through the door.
Why didn't Tento talk to them?
I
What?
thought we were all coming out to the courtyard. That's why I didn't bring it up too hard. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. I tried to do it in the courtyard. Yeah, I guess this conversation is more it's all sort of when they're like, all right, let's go out in the courtyard. We're it's too cramped
I
in
mean,
here.
It's too cramped.
whichever's fine, but I just
Yeah,
wasn't quite sure what's going
Why
on.
I was the only one in there.
I honestly didn't notice Tento was missing. I'm sorry.
I'm just a good, I'm a good thief, man. I just disappear.
No, so
always
everybody's
do.
in the courtyard of the town hall. Some people can watch through the transparent walls. And people are gathered from all around to listen through the very, very thick, as we know in this campaign, paper walls. Everybody's gathered around for what is to be said and what is to be done. Somebody says, we should hire mercenaries. Isn't there some Rax and company of archers nearby? I heard they were run out of Radachi. What about the heirs of Osor? They could come help us. There's one sheriff and his squire nearby. He's probably going to be in later today. What's he gonna do? What are we going to do at all? We might not have time for reinforcements to arrive. Captain Zafia says, we can look for allies, but we need to rely on the people who are here and assume that we won't have time to get anybody else. Whatever arrangements we try to make diplomatically, we can't be sure that they'll be there because we can't be sure when the enemy arrives. If they're scouting us, they're close.
Yeah. It's probably a good bet.
And 120 else stands at the puddle. Bulbridge says, maybe when their scouts don't come back, they'll think better of it. I mean, clearly you bested their warriors.
I started just giving him a funny look. I was like, what do you...
They're
Really?
gonna come back from
Do you-
vengeance.
Do you think that, really?
And Zafia is like, Bulbridge has never had a spine. He didn't shatter with that hammer of his in his life. He doesn't know anything about what it means to fight. Oh, I'll have you know, I've had my fair of scrapes. He shakes his hammer at her. But why would they pick a fight that they don't think they're going to win?
Lonnie is going to use thaumaturgy, I think. to make her voice 3 times as loud for a minute.
All right, megaphone activated.
There's no point in speculation when your livelihoods are at risk.
All right, everybody.
Even if they do end up not coming, what harm is there to prepare for the worst?
Everybody turns and they're like, yeah, and like there's general like nodding around of like cautious like, yeah, we can hold out hope this isn't gonna happen, but better be prepared if it is. Roll me a persuasion.
Should I guidance this shit beforehand?
Believe in you, Casey. You got this. See, look at that.
Bulbert says, fine. There'll be no loners. I expect all of the weapons you'll be needing to be paid for, Zafia. And Zafia's like, of course, Idlian, I'm sure we'll work it out.
I'm sure you'll give us a discount for buying in bulk, right?
And Falbert's like, yes, for buying in bulk. And everyone kind of looks at him like, oh, and he's got to relent. And what about the good shopkeep Rock Splitter? And she says, pah, my stores are open to those who would defend the town. If you live and it isn't broken, just give it back to me once the fight's over. And he's like, fair enough. And Bayama says, what does all of this have to do with the shrine? And Altanola's like, oh, dear, I don't think the shrine is involved. Oh, but it is. Tento wants me to summon some spirits. And everyone's like, huh? And everybody looks at Tento.
Yeah. What's her name again? Who's the spider lady's name again?
The spider lady's name is Shizuda.
Shizuda? Yeah, Shizuda's telling me that we could use the shrine to hopefully have, put little this fight in a little bit more in our favor.
But why would the Twin River of the Soul and Spirit Shrine help us with the fight? It's for reuniting departed lovers for a brief moment of spirit and reconciliation and... Huh? And people are like really confused, and Captain Zafia just sort of like takes like there's a darker mien that crosses her face, but she doesn't say anything. And Alton Hill is like, how would this be to our advantage? Which spirits?
Oh, wow. So that thing was supposed to be used for a more pleasant experience. All right.
Does the imagery of like 2 rivers or something like remind me of any other like older or maybe not necessarily older, but like other religions that might use the same imagery but in a more violent context?
Roll me a religion.
Can I guidance this one?
Yeah.
Where's the D4?
7. Okay, so the religious conception of the spirit and soul as 2 individual rivers is not unique to a single religion. There were a series of religious scholars over 1,000 years ago who popularized the idea. The idea was deemed heretical during the Serene Reigns about 300 years ago, and the arbiters were sent around to collect texts on it, and it's considered a verboten topic. But with the 17, you know that the main reason people were interested is because it is keenly related to resurrection magic. You're not supposed to be able, and necromancy. If you can manipulate them, if you can build a working theoretical structure, that's a cornerstone of doing something like raising the dead. And if you can do it even while the Soronetto is working, you could find a workaround for the fact that necromancy doesn't work when the Soronetto is working right. And that would be really, 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 really bad because if a sufficiently powerful necromancer walked into a graveyard where no one was expecting necromancy to be possible and could raise an army, that would be really bad for all the obvious reasons. So
Sounds really cool.
So on the
Actually.
basis of, with that as the pretext, and the fact that, you know, like, resurrection is frowned upon, people have kind of obfuscated the situation. They've kind of, you're not supposed to know about it. If you do happen to have a book and you just don't happen to tell the arbiters, well, you know. But you don't happen to have a book on the topic. However, Bayama's like, oh, I think, actually, wait a minute. Do you bring this up to anyone?
No, Lonnie is going
Just thinking
to
about
digress the conversation to be like, we should be focused on what resources we have at our disposal to defend an assault from the west.
Lonnie is right. And Zephia's like, yeah, she's speaking sense. We need to prepare for an assault from the west.
Also, who had the weird look?
What weird look?
I think like when Bayama was like, wait, what? Someone like kind of reacted negatively to this whole idea.
Oh, Zephyia kind of had a hardened expression. But that seems to be just Zephyia towards Bayama in general.
Ah, okay.
But the idea, I mean, it didn't sit great with her, but now she's excited that we're getting back to, you know, like, resources and concrete things that she can talk about and knows.
Did Bayama seem like it was like a, oh, whatever could that be for? I totally know why, but I'm not gonna say it, or just like she legitimately doesn't know?
She didn't seem to react in any way or notice.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the map, and you are expecting a southwesterly incursion if they come along the river, but you know, theoretically they could either ford the river or sweep around anywhere to the east if there was nothing to stop them. So Zephyia is going to propose, if we marshal our forces, we should be able to hold 3 out of the 5 ways up onto the hill. We'll just have to block the other 2.
How accurate is the square footage on this?
For the
Is one-
purposes of the fight, it will be accurate. So the river is actually, the river is 400 feet across. This hill is 3.2k across. This hill is 4k across.
How high were these
Pretty
hills again?
big.
Because you mentioned that these dirt mounds were like
Those are
easier earthen
ascents.
ramps?
Yeah, so the village is built on a series of hills. It's steep. It's approaching like it ranges between 45-degree angles to like 80-degree angles, and there's rocks and shit on. So it's sort of thing which, if you wanted to climb right up a hill, you could do it, but you'd be doing all sorts of awkward stuff with your feet, crawling on your hands, and threatening and risking falling off and twisting your ankle, and you have to like dig up at dirt. Like, it wouldn't be an easy thing to do. You could do it, but it wouldn't be an easy thing to do, and it's not something an entire army could reliably do necessarily, but it's not impossible. It's not guaranteed that you'd force them to fight you at these spots. But Zephyia is proposing that that's exactly what you should do, and that they should block off 2 of these and then hold them at the other 3 locations. Tuva Rocksplitter says, "We have the numbers. If we catch them in an alley, we won't be able to use it to our advantage, and we'll feed in like a meat grinder. I say we go out there and meet them on the field. We spread our line wide, they come in at us, and the flanks close in. We stab them from all angles."
Suggesting this?
That is not a good idea.
Who is suggesting this?
Tuva Rocksplitter, the
I
general
tell her that
store
is-
owner.
That is not a good idea.
Ha!
These people are not warriors, nor will they become warriors or soldiers. We put them out in the field, they're more likely to break apart than to stay together.
Merrick says, I am afraid that there's a lack of military discipline in this town. And Tuva's like, ha, fine. Not that complicated to stand in a line. And then when the fighting starts, get around behind them.
It's not complicated to stand in line, but it gets more complicated when you have a screaming orc coming at you. You know, with a sword, axe, or whatever.
Sorry, who's suggesting this again?
The general store.
Tuva
person.
Rocksplitter, the dwarf who owns the general store, proposed meeting them on the field due to the fact that your line width would theoretically permit you to outflank the orcs, assuming they came at you in a singular group. Zephyr wants to barricade 2 of the ways up onto this hill, abandon the southeastern hill, and hold 3 of the ways up. Because she doesn't think you can hold all 5.
Yeah.
And how adamant does Tuva feel, or not adamant, but like
She says, I'll fight in a pass or I'll fight in the field. It makes no difference to me. So like she thought it was a better idea, but she's not gonna like go against the consensus or like feel terribly about it.
I just it seemed like it was gonna be like, oh, she's gonna split like the town kind of situation. I just want like to make
Well,
sure
I mean,
that
there's people
wasn't
looking
the
at
case.
both of them. And some people's opinions of Tuva and Zephyr, respectively, are probably influencing what they're thinking right now, but nobody's done any of... Like, there's no vote now on your phone's poll going on the projector right now. You don't know how people
Shit,
feel
is there?
about this.
Oh, you're
People
right.
are looking back and forth. So if you want to lock down one of these plans, by all means make an argument. Sorry, Casey?
Before any of this, does anyone know anything that might help us? Like, has anyone heard of this group before this?
Tybir says, yeah, I know all about them.
Ooh, please,
Lonnie looks at him curiously. He's like,
please share with the class.
Dragor is a dissolute bastard, cult leader. He wanders from place to place, convincing people he's special. He was born with a gift and now he pursues his divine right. He shows off his magic tricks, he calls down beams of light. He grows bones on his sword. And then, with little violence and bribery and silvered words, he brings people along, as long as they're useful. Then he dispenses with them. He sows his oats, he moves from town to town, he leads his so-called pride. He spits at that on the floor. There's no more than 50 of them. If I had to guess, given the position, where they're coming from, and the fact that they sent 6 scouts.
That makes it much easier. Thought there was gonna be more.
They're vicious. They'll fight hard. They'll probably fight to the death. Even if Tragor dies. That's only gonna make them more committed.
Of course it is.
But the Bone Chalk pride to outlive him isn't acceptable. So they'll choose to die fighting. He's got them all hopped up. That being said, he's not really the one leading the operation. His
Ooh,
closest lover. He says this with great derision. Zamak. She's a master of the 12-fold way. A warrior who's earned her right to her tricks. She's the one who's more concerned with logistics. He's the charismatic leader, but she's the one who makes sure the wagons roll. Anyway, once they get information about the town, they'll probably try and pull some sort of a stunt. Tragor will want to get hostages to execute, or light something big on fire. Psychological warfare. Zamak will be more interested in the particulars of the plan. She'll look at the best angle of attack, pump the groups in, and let them operate individually as smaller bands.
Sounds like we got our work cut out for us.
If we present a unified front on the field, they will feel compelled to, dash it before they get to the raiding. If we hold out at defensive positions, they might come to us. Or, if Zamak has enough time, try and find a clever way around it. That being said, Traegor whips up ruthless people, and not the patient type. So, we offer something confusing enough for them to get around. It's not like they're going to stand out there for a week and build a damn siege tower.
What are they after?
Fuck if I know. He's an idiot. Addicted to Anorak venom processed in some umbilical, alchemy. He cooks it up. He takes it. And he has waking dreams. He moans and groans his nonsense, so-called charismatic yammering. He says it shows him things, and sometimes he whips out a new parlor trick afterwards. Anyway, that's supposedly what they're following. Him and his path to greatness. They call him a living saint who will become a god.
Lonnie just rolls her eyes at that one.
Exactly. His ego is bigger than his head. He's got a fat one.
Tendo snickers at that. Big heads.
I'm gonna finish my business with him the hard way. We'll meet him. Fuck gang on fuck gang. And Zephia's like, hold on. You know this man. Who is he to you? And Tiberius says,
That's the one he likes, that's for sure.
someone I need to kill. Is that enough for you, Captain? And Zephyr looks at him up and down, and says, I take it you're a warrior. You've got your grudge, you've got your weapon, and everything else is just pretext. Sort of like chews his lip and says, and? Fair enough. We understand each other. But understand this. I'm a soldier. Maybe the people of this village haven't seen battle. But I will stand and do what I have to defend my people. One way or the other. No matter what that takes. I'm not interested in fair weather friends. So don't let your little vendetta drag us out of formation. You'll have your revenge when we win. Or it'll be a hollow one. Tiberius shrugs. As long as we win or lose, taking it. Fair enough. Everyone kind of like tense looks at the stage and says, fair enough. Alright then. So, we can blockade the two tightest passages up. Carts, barrels, Alton Hill to get anything of no use from the cidery and start piling it on. He nods. Alright. So that's our plan of defense. Anybody with a bow, we're gonna need you up on the side shooting down. Everybody else, spears. If you don't know how to use one, we'll teach you.
I just let them throw rocks at them.
He looks at him and he's like, you ever been hit by a rock?
Yeah, it kind of hurts.
You ever been stabbed by a spear?
I'm saying one has more range than the other. It could probably do more damage if you just drop it along the side. Let gravity do its job.
You can roll it down the hill. I don't think these orc warriors have reached martial prowess through getting nicked on the ankle by a rock we rolled down a hill. If we had a castle wall, I'd be right there with you. But we don't. We've got a hillside. We could set up some rockfall traps, but I'm gonna guess that only works once on a pass. And then Altanilla's like, logs too. If we chop down some fresh logs, we could get them all up in a position and roll them down at once. That's an idea. They look around and they're like, all right. So we got sticks that we can shoot from bows and that we can thrust with our hands. And we can roll rocks and logs. What can you do? You're committed to this fight, right? She looks around. And at this point, Albert would say, yes, so, friendly fetcher friends, could you tell us what your stake is in our village's fight exactly?
Getting a favor done.
A favor for whom?
For a friend.
Zafia is curious about this, and she's.
Might be
You've already
interesting
told.
if
I
you
think.
say
I think
the
you've.
name.
I think you've already told Zafia. I think you basically said something to Zafia, and she says,
I don't think we actually ever mentioned.
We haven't said a
Boncho's
name yet.
name.
No,
"You
I
said
never
you,
mentioned a
you,
name.
you explained that the friend you're doing the favor for is dead to Zafia, though, right?"
Yeah.
Or was that? Or was that to the spider lady?
The
Was it
spider
to-
lady knows it's that like
It's probably Comancho. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Zafia does not know.
Yeah.
Just that whoever it is dead.
Yeah. So she's gonna say, "They're good for it." Sometimes duty's a bitch, but it's ours. We're gonna hold the line. Everyone here. We're in this together. There's no time or place to run. If the Bone Shock Pride isn't stopped here, they could maraud anywhere. Kafadak is in chaos. We can't rely on anyone coming to save us.
Remind me why we didn't bring the heirs of Orsor here.
And, yeah. Everyone kind of nods at that, and Bayama looks really concerned. And the people around, generally speaking, hang out. And Merrick kind of strums his lyre and says, "Ah, the tides of war, how they always come to rock the ship of life." And Zafia spits over at him acridly, says the fucking Dodger. Get out of here, Merrick. Are you gonna stand
Hey.
and fight this time?
Last thing we need is to fight amongst each other. Chill out.
Fine. And everyone's looking around, looking at the prisoners, looking at you guys. And the villagers don't seem like they really know how to, fire en masse or stab people or set up and deploy traps. But they do look very concerned about their life, so you've got a very captive audience.
Hey, Tibir, you wanna teach some of these guys how to shoot a bow?
Tibir sort of rolls his head and says, "Sure, I can show them." And he says, "South side of the village, there's a good over spot. A dugout. Throw some targets down there. Start shooting." "We don't have any targets." "We'll throw some sacks of straw down there and paint a target on a block of wood." And he's gonna look at Albert and say, "How many arrows do you have?" Albert counts it up and he's like, "Less than 100?" He looks at Tuva and she's like, "Hey, 50?" He's like, 150 arrows.
Tento's gonna oh, hey.
With as many hunters as this town has, some volleys. They'll have their own.
I got 75 arrows on me.
What?
Just carry 75 arrows.
You just open up several quivers full of arrows.
No, I walk over to Lonnie can you borrow your back for a second?
Lonnie seems to be in deep thought, but just absentmindly hands the bag over.
You
He
start
just
whipping
throws
out
out.
arrows.
Tento just throws out 75 arrows. Oh, hey, I have some crossbow bolts too.
And
That's 30.
And he's like, "What? Gertrude, pick those up and start getting those sorted out at the archery range." And she's like, where's the archery range? Oh, wait, what this guy said. Okay.
Yep, go,
And
go.
Also, Lonnie wants to ask Tibir before he goes if they tend to attack at night or broad daylight, or it doesn't really matter.
He says They've done night attacks before. There's a couple of reasons why they wouldn't want to do it here, though. They're gonna have to climb an unfamiliar hillside.
Okay.
It can be a little bit riskier in the dark. However, it's definitely not something they wouldn't do. The main factor is when they arrive. They're not gonna wait a whole day before attacking. So, if they arrive early in the morning, I wouldn't expect a night attack. If they arrive late at night, strong possibility.
I'm gonna go over to Sophia real quick and say, hey, do you wanna teach some of these villagers how to like go for kill stabs with a spear? You know what I mean?
That's the plan. Alright. Get the pole turners to work. Albrecht, every spear tip you can. Alright? We're commissioning you. Now then. And yeah, she's like, oh, it's worth noting that there is a night attack. Humans and a few others can't see at night. Weird, I know, but she just shrugs.
It's like, oh yeah, they're a bunch of
And she says, we Aurori all have our strengths and weaknesses. When we fill in side to side, there's no cracks to slide in. And, like, if it comes to it, we'll put the humans in the line and they can just stab and shoot into the center of where the enemy are coming from alongside the rest of the group.
Well, you guys have a lot of flammable alcohol.
And
I'm sure you guys have
cider
wooden-
being like the lowest.
yeah, so
That's what I asked
so
for,
Albrecht will say that's possible, but if the alcohol content is low enough, it's not going to create a good burn. Now, there is some moonshining done around here I happen to be quite privy to.
Cool.
And everyone
Gather
looks
all up.
around, and someone's like, hey. And he's like, well, I'm just saying, if we offer everyone a good price for their hooch, we could have some very high-proof liquor, which would be quite flammable.
Grab all that.
I'm just talking about getting torches and braziers.
Mm.
No. He's right. He's right. No, he's right. Gather all the
Mm.
hooch and all the high, very alcoholic
but
stuff.
Alton Hilda says anybody who needs to light a rag or anything with the cider is more than willing to more than free to take care of my barrels. We can figure this all out after the war that has come to this village. So strange to say, we've been at war for so long, but now it's finally here. And she kind of drifts off. And Zafia claps on the shoulder and says, come on, Alton Hilda, you were born on a battlefield. You're not going to die on one. And
That was very comforting.
yeah, people kind of looking around, and basically at this point, yeah, people are like, no.
Can I ask something in the crowd real quick?
Yeah.
Who's good at drawing?
And everyone's kind of like, oh.
Good at painting. Something.
And yeah, so people kind of like, look around, and Tuva steps up and she says, I know how to etch stone.
Not stone, just a cloth.
She just shrugs and she's like, I'm not bad with a brush.
All right.
And Albert kind of like winkles his nose and says, well, I suppose I've seen cruder. And she kind of like sticks her tongue out at him.
I want you to copy, because the bone chalk have their markings. I want you to copy their markings on a piece of cloth. Kind of a big one. Something we can show off.
All right. And she's like, aye. Why did you want me to make the sigil of the enemy? Ooh, target practice?
I think I think it would be a cool way to get their attention.
And Tiberius is like, oh, that would get Tregor's attention.
Yeah. When you're angry, you don't necessarily think straight.
Lure him in. Yeah. Play into his ego. Zamak will probably try and counsel him against it, but at the end of the day, if Tregor wants to go, Tregor's gonna go. Where Tregor goes, Zamak follows.
Oh, yeah. Guess we should trigger.
The
Make
lollygaggers,
like
thank you
three.
for the raid. The lollygaggers arrive at the town square as we gather, preparing Tordon to repel the invasion of the Bone Chalk Warriors. And, yeah, hello and welcome. Around this time, Zafia would say, alright, before everybody breaks out, we're going to need to find as many reliable leaders as we can to lead squads and keep people in lines. We're gonna have to nominate some people. And she kind of looks around, and she kind of like doesn't have like a great taste in it. Roger, with a stein in hands, like, oh, I'll volunteer. Hey, Lollygaggers, thank you for joining us. How was your stream? How was your game?
Lonnie
Let me
wants
tell you,
to-
you guys can trust Zion here, Lonnie, and Hiroshi to lead some squads.
And Tiberius like, that's all well and good, but we'll need you in the Fook gang.
Oh yeah,
Lonnie
shit.
wants
Forgot about that
to
guy.
ask if there's any sources of water closer by, large sources of water closer by than the river.
And someone says, oh, there's the well behind the tower.
Where is it on the map? Where is this well? That thing?
Hmm.
Okay. Why is this map so fucking big?
Man,
It's
Well,
a
I
whole
mean-
big
ass
village.
I mean, towns are big.
Also,
So fucking
is there a
big?
reason
Okay.
why we can't migrate everyone to this hill, which has less points of entry?
There is
And
not.
seems like more residential area.
The main reason is that, like, not only are some of, like, the most important, like, buildings in town on this hill, it's closer to the river. And if you go south, like, 'cause, like, if you hold here, they suppose that the enemy aren't going to cross the bridge or cross the river and come up here to the shrine and the people who live here. And even if they burn all the fields to the south of the river, at least the north of the river will be safe. If they draw back to here, I mean, did you propose that? Like, what does Orochi say in that regard?
I mean, I don't think Orochi would propose that because that'd be moving a bunch of people. A bunch of people that might be on edge wouldn't want to like leave. I don't know their homes
Well.
specifically.
Well, a lot of people live in those other places and are a bit
Yeah,
on
like-
edge about the implication that they're gonna leave. You can tell it's not. I mean, like, someone's probably muttering like, "I live in the south."
Lonnie also wants to ask Tibir, like, if stopping their leaders won't stop them, then what do you propose? Just find a way to kill them all?
And he shrugs and he thinks about it. And he says, if he dies as he's lived, cult leader, driving his ideology forward, they could still be inspired to sell their lives dearly, but some number of people with mortality before them will run. I just don't suspect it'll be as many as you would against any other sort of foe. But if something could happen to shake Tregor's resolve, if there was some miracle that ran counter to what they've dedicated themselves to, some display of great and terrible holy might that could descend upon the battlefield the way his pillars of light and spiritual assailants can, perhaps it could shake the faith of the enemy. Make them question. And then when their leader dies, maybe they'll think they picked the wrong idol. Your so-called
At
living
that
saint
point-
will go down.
At that point, we're like, okay, Baima, you need to get ready to do all your stuff.
John was like, oh, there's going to be so much to prepare for the ritual, and do you know the names of these spirits I'm trying to summon together for the dance? Maybe? That would help a lot.
Did she say their names? I don't remember.
No, you
I
know
don't
that
think
it,
so.
it was a son and an uncle, I believe.
Son and uncle. That was a son and a teacher or something like that.
Oh, no, sorry, no, it was a son and a mentor, yes.
Okay, son and mentor.
And you say that.
I know they're a son and mentor.
Tibir looks over, he thinks about it for a second, and he's like, the only son of Tregor as I know is dead, was Volk.
You wouldn't
As
happen
for
to
his-
have a mentor name, would you?
And yes, Skiergard. They knew how. Wait a minute. This is clever. I see. Do you have some way of calling up their ghosts?
Hopefully.
They tell each other what they knew when they died. Ivyr nods and thinks about it. And he doesn't say anything further.
Alright, well, you got the names.
Yeah, and Alden's like, what are we gonna do about? And she points to the, prisoners you guys have as people sort of like begin to break up, and Captain Zafia is like, you, go get all the hunters and everybody else who knows how to handle a bow. Follow Tibir to the archery range. Yeah, south side of town. We're setting up there. All right. And one of the Reed Outrider walks up. He says, "Hey, looks like you're having a big scrape. Shame if you had to do it alone." And everyone looks at him. And he kind of looks to the party and says, "I think I know who you are."
Are you offering to help or offering a deal?
And he says, "Let me speak my piece. Some weeks ago, Cadcon was destroyed when the ancient pass opened up. Survivors made their ways into the neighboring hills. Some of my people took them in. Some of those survivors made their way to the hills my people inhabit.
Oh.
They spoke of an Anorak of great honor wielding a terrible blade. His companions. Shade of the Mountain. That's you, isn't it?" And someone whispers, is like, "You're the Shade of the Mountain? Wait a minute. You're with the rebels. You're heroes." And someone else is like, "Heroes? I heard they were war criminals." Oh, I guess they're here now. And the Reader says, yes. If I told them the Shade of the Mountain was here and they needed reinforcement, and that there were raiders in the region who might strike at us and our villages in the hills, I might be able to get assistance. But it would require a diplomatic mission or a gift."
I'm like, I was like, a gift? Okay. I hand him 100 gold. How's this?
And he holds it and he's like, "This is money. But it's not a gift.
God damn it, I forgot about this. I shouldn't learn my lesson.
You need to send something of value and intent. It doesn't have to be of value monetarily. It has to be something that speaks to the situation of the village and future reward for closer relations. Historically," he kind of looks at Alton Hilda, "the Outriders and the town haven't had the best relationship. Something about the orchards." And Alton Hilda's like, "What? You just grow apples." "Yeah. Anyway, they had to clear cut a lot of stuff and they took over these hills. It's a long ongoing thing, and I don't have anything against them in this generation per se, but we need signs of a change in the grass. That a new wind is blowing and it's not going to peter out. That way, some Reed Outriders might be convinced to come help out. And they're within a day's ride, so unlike most of these people we're talking about, I'm pretty sure they could show up before the enemy does."
So you're asking her to stop expanding.
Alano's like, "Well, I'm content with the orchards I have right now." The Outrider shakes his head and says, "It's about what we get out of it from this coexistence, and what makes us think the offer is sincere. I can't pick the right gift for you. It's not how it works. It's a thing to keep in mind. Anyway, I know how to shoot, and I've got my ride. And I would be honored to fight alongside a shaman on a wolf." He nods to Lonnie. "So, you have my bow, but it's one small one." And Zafia's like, "If we could get enough mounted people, we could use them to heckle the flanks. Yes, goblins riding spiders and wolves. That's a plan." And basically, the situation breaks out like thus. You have today. You don't know what's going to happen today. You have tonight. You don't know what's going to happen tonight. Captain Zafia would like to talk to you about finalizing the plan, because people accept that the Shade of the Mountain is going to be involved in this. Consensus will be necessary, but Altenhilda and Zafia can get the consensus as long as they agree. The Reed Outrider is offering, if you send a diplomatic gift, you could get the assistance of the Outriders. You can't see where I'm pinging. Oh yeah, because it's outside
We have
town.
no lights.
You mean like because of the Dynaline? Yeah. Open these doors. So Zafia, you need to talk to about squads and overall strategy. Ibir is training people in archery, but training people in other stuff. We handle with Zafia. And the other notable members of the town, Fulbert, Tuva, Merrick, and Roger, are all potentially recruitable squad leaders, and they have different influences upon the goings of the battle depending on what they do with their smithy, general store, and fact he's a well-liked drinker by the people of the town. Bayama has her ritual cut out for her and does not exactly seem like a warrior. Oh, I love that you have the yellow sign as an emote. All Jaggers.
Wait, shit, what was I gonna ask? Well, Lonnie is going to ask Zion if he thinks he could construct something like a catapult. How high is the hill?
The hill is like 70 to 100 feet off of the plains.
Okay.
At its highest
Lonnie-
point, it rolls up
Lonnie
to around the edges.
Is going to suggest the idea of a catapult to Zion that can fling anything, because anything at this height should do damage. And Lonnie wants to go help Bayama with the ritual and also try to find out more about the shrine and stuff while she's at it. And also, how large are the hills that are the slopes that come up to the hill? Like, how wide across are they?
The two they're proposing now blocking for this hill get as narrow as 20 feet. That's why they can block them.
Mhm.
The others get as narrow as 40 feet, maybe 30 feet, depending on how you're counting. Because it's you go survey it, and it's the passes up have these ditches in them and bumps in the road. So there's the bit you could safely take a cart up, and then there's the bit someone can walk up if they want to with minor inconvenience, and that will probably become part of the battlefield.
Lonnie will hand the tablet of Wall of Fire to
Tragoosh! Launch the Tragushi.
I mean, if it hits someone, they're not getting up. Those things are heavy.
or her name to the captain, for her to use as she sees fit, but it does only last a minute, and she's gonna suggest maybe emergency measures.
So, what are you giving her?
Tablet of Wall of Fire.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you give it to her, you explain how it's used, and she's like, damn, that's some powerful magic. Alright.
And
Yeah, if they're breaching through and we need to hold them back, that could do a lot.
and also the tablet of the Divine Windshield. Maybe one for each entrance.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just suck projectiles?
It can also push people back though.
Oh, I like it.
So yeah.
With this kind
And
of magic, we
also
should have a
does-
fighting chance.
But yeah,
Not
Lonnie
just
is
hold the line, but really mess them up. I mean, if we start sprouting flames and popping wind, they're following one charismatic paladin, but...
Lonnie seems like very absent-minded throughout this whole thing. Like she's like handing it to her, not really listening, and is gonna go offer her services to Bayama afterwards. But at the end of each hour, she's going to try scrying again.
I wonder if Lonnie remembers that I have her bag of holding.
Probably not at this point, actually. Actually, no, she would have had to go get it to go to it, possibly.
To get the tablets. Dang it, you're right.
So, Dreamers, what's...
But if you say that you'll need it again, she'd probably agree and then just walk off without it.
Alright, so, we know that Lonnie is going to be working on the scrying situation. Bayama is going to be working on the...
Well, she's also going to be going to the shrine with Bayama
Yeah,
because
other stuff.
there are questions I have about that shrine.
I am going to the shrine too.
Alright, Shrine Squad.
I would like to build a catapult to fling some Dragushi.
I mean, I guess I said fling anything.
Do you share that? Do you share the fact that you intend to fire their livestock, or do you simply acquire the necessary resources to?
Fling large objects.
Lonnie meant it more in a variety kind of aspect, but I guess that technically fulfills the assignment.
Yeah, creative use of creative fulfillment of the assignment. So, Zion, you're gonna need a significant amount of lumber and some mechanism which you could theoretically fashion yourself, but would take some time. You know that there's a blacksmith and there's a general store owner. Either Tuva or Fulbridge might be able to help with some or all of this. And there's some trees nearby, and they talked about cutting down trees for log traps, so presumably they can get lumber. Do you want to talk to Alton Hilda about getting the resources, or do you just start trying to, like, find whatever's to hand?
I'll start by finding whatever's at hand.
Okay, you see that there are some, like, felled trees near the clearings to the south, near the copses of wood to the southeast, and nobody's like there guarding them at the moment or anything. Everybody's pretty busy running around town.
I can only hope that Roshi is keeping an eye on Zion.
Yep. Time to go
We
to
didn't
town.
leave Zion. Oh, we made
Alright,
a
so
mistake.
120L, help me.
So Zion and 120L walk down, and do you begin to do you like construct on site, or are you dragging this shit up to the town?
Drag it up to town.
All right, so you are down at the southeast where there was some cut wood. You were just dragging them. You see some orchard, like people like attending the orchards. They see you just dragging the wood. They look at you. They're amazed that two people in plate armor are dragging giant logs, and they don't.
It was like, yeah, no, those guys will probably rip this in two. Let's not
Where
talk
do
to
you
them.
where do you begin assembly of the catapult?
This is the nearest. They said they were gonna sit up here, right?
Yep.
So probably around here.
So yeah,
I
you
do still
begin-
question why we are defending this island and not the other one.
Well, here's the thing. Nobody said those words out loud at the meeting. You can still. That hasn't been determined, but the logs are here now. If anybody's characters want to bring it up, you can. But yeah, I mean,
Lonnie has other things on her mind.
you begin to gather some logs here. People are like really curious, and they don't know how you got the wood, but they're not questioning it either. You begin sawing stuff. Meanwhile, so that's Tordon. Meanwhile, I think that leaves Orochi, right?
Yeah. So Oroshi's gonna try to control morale. He's gonna be walking around town using Windsight to listen and see if anyone who's really shaken up, anyone who's like, oh guys, we should like
That's
ditch,
not-
we need to leave, and try to like stop that and nip that in the bud.
You hear some people
Are
loudly
you-
complaining. They're saying, Why do we have to give up our homes to this attack just because we live in the south? I know that the shops aren't there, but come on. There's more space. There's only 3 ways up. Why don't we go defend that instead? Someone's like, well, why don't we just defend all of them? And everybody who lives on those hills can just defend their own entrance. And there are some people who are like second against the plan. Some people are like, we're getting out of here tonight. Listen, this isn't gonna go well. I was at the last war. My commander was this drunk guy named Bardaga. Got lost in the woods. Probably dead, or he became one of those fucking bandits. Anyway, war is terrible. Everyone dies. It's all about getting your money and getting out. We're getting out of
Yeah,
here.
how am I supposed to counter that, Lee? Like, come on.
These are very good points. Hey, this is the path you chose. You got this, man.
Yeah, so you're using NSA hearings to, like, surveil the state.
This is definitely an invasion of privacy you're doing too.
You can sure potentially walk up to some of these people and just, like, and be like, hey.
I'm just super good at hearing. I'm just walking. These people are speaking out loud in public space. They did not take the 5-foot step of isolation.
I
This
think
is
they
public-
did. You
public
just
access.
followed them. They actually did. You just went out and
Nah.
followed them.
If they truly took the 5-foot step of isolation, I wouldn't hear anything.
Oh, so they didn't actually use the move called 5-foot step
Yeah.
of isolation.
Yeah, so you just walk
They
on
didn't do the
Oh,
right
so
hand
you're-
signs
you're-
or anything
Yeah, if
for
they
it.
said that out loud, he wouldn't have listened.
You're finding
Okay, that's
people, having these conversations. What do you want to do? You want to walk up and just be like, hey.
stop that.
I'm gonna walk up to the group and I'm just gonna start questioning people like, are you gonna leave your neighbors like that? Your homes that you built, the effort and labor that you guys spent the years cultivating this land.
Who are you to come up and say this to us? You're just some wandering Fesher with what is that? Shade of the Mountain? Just mercenaries who do what? Steal magic swords from people and then sell them to other people?
No, I'm a refugee that got driven off his own home. I didn't defend my home,
They're like,
and now I have none.
and they're like, oh, hey, give me a persuasion.
And now I have no more home. I have nowhere to go. A hermit forever. Oh, give them their sad hermit story.
This goblin's like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. I can't leave my home like that. Wind up like this guy. And everyone laughs. And they're like, no, but seriously though, that's a great point. We gotta band together. Whatever the plan is, we gotta abide by the consensus.
These raiders, they're not gonna stop here. They're gonna hit every spot they can. They need to feed themselves. They're not gonna sit and gather and grow crops. They're just gonna take what's there. And I'm sorry, out in this area, you guys are ripe for the picking.
And I don't think those are the right thing to say, but I'm so into this.
Hey, you don't know Oroshi's past, okay? You don't know what he's gone through.
Yep. So the you do come to one group, you generally boost their morale, and they start to look around, and like they're not generally speaking directed by anyone at the moment, but they are looking to participate. As you wander, you do overhear more people like second guessing the plan or like having concerns, but you feel like you've put a dent in the morale problems.
I will say I would be going like back and forth between like being nice, being persuasive, and then straight up
copying,
intimidation.
bad copying yourself.
You hear like
I hear it works, but I've never done it.
yeah,
And I
you-
don't realize that it needs 2 people to do it, so I do both.
so you
I heard this concept called good cop.
you good cop, bad cop, everyone yourself. You hear a sound of like pop, 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 and people kind of like looking around. You hear that from your wind sight. Somewhere to the south of town, there's a lot of construction going on. I guess somebody's already working the defenses. You go check that out.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like I've made a dent, like people aren't gonna straight up like a
Yeah.
quarter of the people aren't going to straight up go mutiny or leave.
Yeah, they're not going to affect a mutiny. You've tamped them down.
Then yeah, I would go south and like
Yeah, you see Zion
Zion.
120L stood in this like halfway built catapult frame they're assembling with bits. Someone walks up and they're like, "Wait a minute, those are my logs. Those are my logs. I cut them down. I was gonna use them. I was gonna use them to rebuild my house. You took my logs."
Fine,
will help
stole
you
them?
get more logs. You need to defend your life before you can rebuild your own house.
And he's like, "Okay, but can I sleep under the whatever thing you're building tonight?"
Oh, he does.
As long as he doesn't sleep on top of it, I
Sure.
guess.
He's a
There's
hermit
a
like
fit-
you.
Go
There's
still
a
sleep on
vaguely
top of it.
Trigushi shaped bowl.
And he's like,
Oh.
"Wow!" He's like, what kind of rocks are you loading into that?"
Rocks. Those are food.
He just looks at you, and it says, "Oh, I see. Metal people eat rocks. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it." Wait, you
And people eat rocks too.
No.
Oh, poor
And,
Zion.
anyways,
It's like
She's
old
like,
man.
"Yeah,
This is like
nah."
old man goblin is like, "Oh, I got
I'm
everyone together to
sure-
cut down trees, and oh, I find out the village is going to get burned down by orc raiders. Oh, I tell you, you can't build anything in Cathadak anymore. Mother always said we should move out west to the hills, and then she got drafted. Never came home. Oh, that was 20 years ago, though. Oh."
well, old timer, you should do what you want, but I'm sure Alton Hilda would be happy to accommodate for the people who
I'll go talk
don't
to
have their homes.
I'll go talk to her right now about it. That's a great idea. She always knows what to do. Cheerful lass. You know, she was born on a battlefield. Good luck. And he kind of like, with his little walking stick and cane, little crouched over goblin.
Don, how do you talk to old people?
You asked Zion that?
Yes.
Go on.
He's very
Alton
neutral to
Hilda.
everyone, so like younger people, they're easy. You could just scream, be confident, or a combination.
Don't teach him that, please.
But like, how do you talk to old people?
Normally, right?
Are you
Yeah?
answering his question with a question?
Maybe I don't know. Anyway, what are you building, and why? How did you shape that so like realistically? Like, I know someone said they were a sculptor, but like, did you
I
make
had-
that, or did you take that?
I had 120L go take some measurements.
I'm just imagining 120L with like a tape measure arm and